Hello, everybody, and welcome to the gorgeous Valley of the Sun, the perfect setting for the 13th Fiesta Bowl. And we started all today on NBC with the Buckeyes of Ohio State going against the Pittsburgh Panthers. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones, and this is Bob Greasy, and we have a classic matchup between two teams that over the past 10 years, they are always in a bowl game. First, Ohio State.
The Buckeyes may have the best talent in the Big Ten. They lost 3 games. They had some injuries during the year. They're now healthy. Their offense is number 3 in the nation, averaging 35 points a game.
For Pittsburgh, it's a bit of a surprise that they are here. This was to be a rebuilding year for the Panthers.
They lost 13 starters off of last year's team. Their defense really carried them early on. Their offense is coming along. They're on a roll. They haven't lost in their last 7 games.
An interesting sidelight to this game. First time that these two teams have played each other in 30 years. The schools are located less than 200 miles apart, and yet they have traveled more than 2,000 miles for this showdown here in the desert. The key factors of the ball game. What will it take to win? First for Ohio State.
The Buckeyes have the horses to lead a stampede, and riding the lead horse on that stampede is tailback Keith Byers. Byers has got over 1,000 yards rushing this year. As Byers go, so goes the Ohio State Buckeyes.
What about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, that defense is ranked number 7. They have to circle the wagons to stop that stampede. Offensively, quarterback John Kenjemi has got to be able to throw the football. If there's one weakness in the Ohio State defense, it's their pass secondary.
Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona, the 13th Fiesta Bowl. 65 degrees, humidity 42%. There will be a wind at 16 miles an hour. The forecast is partly sunny, and rightly so, as we are in the Valley of the Sun. The Buckeyes of Ohio State, Earl Bruce, who ironically was born in the city of Pittsburgh, but he did leave there at age 12. The record this year, 8-3 for Ohio State. And the alumni turning out here, a pep rally at the hotel yesterday afternoon with the band. More than 3,000 fans on hand at that rally. And the Panthers of Pitt, Foge Fazio, they started off with a 2-2 record and then finished up 6-0-1 over their last 7 games. So overall on the season, Fazio 8-2-1 in his 2nd year as head coach of the Pitt Panthers. The classic matchup, Bob, that we have talked about, Ohio State and Pitt. First time in 30 years these two teams have met. 2
great traditions, Charlie, as we've talked about, and really they should have been playing before.
Yes.
They will start playing next year, I think, for the next 8 or 9 years, so they should be playing as we look at a schedule of the Buckeyes this year.
The record for Ohio State, losing on the road, and they had some injuries, as we talked about, during the season.
Tough loss at Michigan was really the one that really set them back. They're back up emotionally and ready to play this ball game.
Now for Pittsburgh, you can see they got off to the slow start. Won their first 2, then lost the next 2. Then they started on a roll. Young team in the rebuilding season. Defense held them in, and then they got the offense going.
The games they lost were not that they were in the entire ball game. They were very close ball games. They tied Penn State at the end of the year. With a little luck, they could have been undefeated.
With a little luck, both ball clubs could have been undefeated. When you total it up, you put about an extra 12 or 13 points on each team, and you've got 2 undefeated seasons. Ohio State will be receiving, and Pittsburgh will be kicking off. Pat Viancourt will be kicking off for the Panthers. Eric Schubert with a knee injury. The kicker is out. Viancourt will be kicking off, and Snuffy Everett will be going for the field goals and extra points. Keith Byers, number 41, and John Wooldridge, number 25, are set to open the ball game for Ohio State. 2 excellent return men. Foge Fazio and Earl Bruce. We're just moments away from the opening kickoff to start NBC's bold coverage here on January the 2nd. And here it is. Woolridge at the 4. to the 10, 15, 20. Good return underway to the 30. Almost breaks it. 32 yards on the return. Now let's take a look at the offensive set. That's the Pittsburgh offense, Bill Wallace, so everybody a little bit nervous on bowl day. For Ohio State, of course, it'll be Mike Tomczak, the starting quarterback. The key that Bob talked about, Keith Byers, the tailback, number 41. There's Tomczak. 36-yard line. They open up with play action. Going to Thad Jemison, and it is incomplete. And we open up with a bit of surprise. You expect to see them open up with this man, quarterback Mike Tomczak, handing off to Byers with the fullback, Vaughn Broadnax, who weighs 250, blocking. That's not the way they open. Keith Byers will be the tailback. Thad Jemison, number 88, at one wide receiver. Cedric Anderson will be the other one. And the tight end is John Frank, all Big Ten. Second down and 10 from the 36-yard line. And here's Byers. Byers to the 45, 50, and then pulled out of bounds after a gain of 16 yards by Tom Flynn. It is a first down. There's the tight end, John Frank, number 89. Left tackle, Bill Roberts. Kirk Loudermilk at left guard. Excellent center in Joe Dooley. Scott Zielinski on the right side, along with Mark Karowitz. The ball at the Pitt 48-yard line. First down, Ohio State. That's Broadnax, first back through. From the 48 to the 43, a gain of 5, second and 5. So we'll look now at the Panther defense. Winglikowski at left end. Big Al, 13 sacks. Tim Quince at left tackle. The middle guard is Dennis Attia from Allentown. Bill Moss at right tackle. Chris Dolman at defensive right end. Second down and 5 at the Pitt 43-yard line.
85, 82.
Buckeyes opening drive of the game. Tomczak to throw. Good protection. Drops it off right side to Byers. Byers out of bounds inside the 35. We'll call it the 34-yard line. And he will pick up the first down. Steve Apke was there along with Troy Hill. Defensively, Apke, he's a freshman. His first start replacing Al Desert, who is out with an injury. Troy Benson, middle linebacker. Troy Hill at left cornerback. Melvin Dean on the right side. Strong safety, Weatherspoon. And the free safety is Tom Flynn. First down for Ohio State. Checking off Bob. Little play action fake. Good reception. John Frank. Twice an academic All-American. He said, why do they say I'm academic? Why do they say I'm all Big Ten? He's a good one.
He should be. He is an excellent one. Tomczak has checked off twice already in this drive. There he saw the coverage being in a two-deep zone. He checked the Frank coming across. Pittsburgh, of course, is expecting them to go to Frank on little delays crossing pattern. They've already done it twice in the ball game successfully.
Gain of 8, second down and 2. We have set the cast of characters for this drive, and the stampede right now offensively is underway. As Tomczak, the quarterback, carries, Bill Moss makes the tackle for the Panthers. But you set it up at the top of the show. It is the offense of the Buckeyes, a controlled offense, but a very strong offense. They put a lot of points on the board.
Apke, the freshman linebacker who is replacing Aldezert, getting a little bit of taste of the power of the offensive line of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
It was second down and 2 at the 26, a gain of 3 to the 23, and it is a first down. Zielinski and Lachey will alternate at right guard as a messenger service for the Buckeyes. First down, 23-yard line of Pitt. Little play action fake deep, has the receiver open, hits him inside the 5. It is Thad Jemison, the senior from Cincinnati, and Tom Flynn drops him after a gain of 20 yards on the play at the 3-yard line. First down, goal to go.
It's a great shot of Foge. Fazio scratching his head. He's not used to his defense being run over like this. Tomczak checks off the same check that he did a couple of minutes ago. The same coverage in the secondary. This time Frank goes short. He is covered, and he throws the ball deep downfield. Good reception. First down inside the 5.
The 8th play of the drive. An impressive opening drive by the Buckeyes against this very tough defense. Super fake by Tomczak to Broadnax. The defense went after Broadnax. Tomczak scores this touchdown. That is the first touchdown that Tomczak has scored this season.
We'll take another look. He's going to fake to Broadnax, 38. Broadnax carries it a lot, sees a big hole inside, runs it in for the touchdown. Pittsburgh's defense, one of the tops in the country, is only used to allowing an average of 12 points a game. They're not used to having another team come out in the opening drive and stuff it right down their throats for a touchdown.
Extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Rich Spangler kicks the extra point, and it is Ohio State with a very impressive opening drive of 64 yards. 13-17, time remaining. We're in the first quarter of the Fiesta Bowl, and the Buckeyes are out in front by 7. Ohio State with their first opportunity on offense, and they certainly showed what they can do.
They certainly did. And that man right there had a big part in it, checked off several times, then ran the option out in midfield, which the Buckeyes thought they could do a little bit against the Panthers, and then also down on the goal line where he scored. Of course, Troy Hill, the defensive back, was in there, wouldn't allow him to pitch it. He turned up for the touchdown.
Number 21, Mark Bailey, the deep back of the 3 backs for the Panthers. And Bailey takes it at the 13 to the 20, and he returns just across the 25-yard line. The 1984 Fiesta Bowl is being brought to you by Toyota Trucks. There's a whole new generation of Toyota trucks for 1984. By Computerland, where you can make friends with the future. By AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound. And by light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. Pitt moving on offense from their own 26-yard line. The quarterback is John Conjimmy. In the last 7 games, throwing for 13 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and he opens up with a connection to his tight end, Clint Wilson. Let's take a look at the lineups for Pitt as Roland Tatum made the last stop. Conjimmy, the quarterback, 57% completion average. Mark Bailey will be the starting fullback, although, of course, McIntyre will be in there. Joe McCall, do-it-all McCall for Pitt. Bill Wallace will be the split end. He's the leading receiver. Dwight Collins will be the flanker. He's been bothered by injuries. The tight end is Clint Wilson.
27.
36-yard line, a gain of 10 on the opening play and a first down. And we have flags flying, so we'll sort that out. The first penalty of the ball game. So Pittsburgh opening up through the air as we thought that they might.
They realize too that they have to open the ball game up, make the Buckeyes cover the entire length of the field, and the best way to do that is to start throwing the football.
Left tackle, Bill Fralick, all-world, 8th in the Heisman Trophy. Balloting will be profiling him and looking at him.
Procedure on the offense, first down.
Legal procedure on the offense, Grundo at left guard, and of course we'll see Greg Christie in there also. Jim Sweeney, outstanding center, 3rd-team All-American. On the right side, Petty John, Bob Brown will see some action at right guard. Tony Brown, the right tackle. We go back to the action. Here's McCall. From the 36 to the 43, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Charlie, we expected to see an offensive game, and we have not been disappointed so far.
Defensively, Dave Crecelius at left tackle for the Buckeyes. Spencer Nelms at middle guard. Dave Morrill, now he'll be opposite Fralick. That's a great matchup we'll be watching. Orlando Lowry, one of the linebackers. Clark Backus, another linebacker. Second down, about 3.5 yards to go for the first down. This will be close as McCall gets the call, and Roland Tatum makes the tackle. They'll spot it at about the 46, maybe the 47-yard line. There's Roland Tatum, number 32. Byron Lee, 82, will be the outside linebacker, and Tatum and Lee most of the time will be on the same side, and they will flop. Sean Gale at right cornerback. Kelvin Bell at safety. Doug Hill will be the rover. That's in reality a strong safety. Garcia Lane, the left cornerback, and also a punt return specialist. So now we have set all of the players, and we have a first down. In case you just joined us, an impressive opening drive of 64 yards in 8 plays by Ohio State, with Mike Tomczak, the quarterback, going in from 3 yards out. And now the Panthers of Pitt, their first opportunity on offense, starting at their own 26, moving on now to their 47-yard line, and they picked up a couple of first downs en route. 11:45 time remaining in the first quarter. Jimmy, incomplete. Bill Wallace, the intended receiver. Wallace with 37 receptions, 630 yards coming into the game, a 17-yard average.
It's a fine throw by the young Jimmy. He is really throwing with a lot of confidence. Earlier in the season, he was a little, well, he had some lack of confidence. As the season wore on, he became more and more confident of his abilities. Here you see him read the coverage very well, throws it over the short man. Tatum just has to throw it to the outside. Good coverage there by Bell.
Second down and 10. McCall. Good continuing effort. He has 5 to the 48-yard line of Ohio State. It'll be third down and 5. Roland Tatum and Kelvin Bell making the tackle for the Buckeyes.
I'll say Kelvin Bell made the tackle. He kind of finished him off. I was just happy to see him getting up.
McCall, 3 carries, 20 yards in this opening drive for the Panthers. Give you a correction on the graphic. Third down and 5. To Jimmy, far side, first down. Dwight Collins, number 32, a gain of 13.
Smart call by Jimmy. He saw the cornerback lined up to the inside, checked off to a little quick out. All he needed was 5 yards. Collins gets it and then gets a little bit more upfield, but that was a very smart call by the young quarterback.
Collins with ankle problems on and off throughout this complete season. Ankle problems here preparing for the Fiesta Bowl, but he may be able to play the whole ball game. He is a good one. Second team All-American. 34-yard line of Ohio State, first down. Play action pass, looping, timing play down the sideline. Perfect throw to Bill Wallace. First down, a gain of 11. Sean Gale with the tackle. And Bob, you called it. If the Buckeyes have a weakness, it's in the defensive secondary.
Defensive secondary. The strength of their team is their offense, their defensive secondary. A good play action fake, lays it over the short cornerback. The safety, Gale, didn't get over there in time. Excellent play. They've moved the ball right down the field.
A gain of 17 yards to the 17. McCall, right side, 16-yard line, just one. Roland Tatum is there. Tatum, the leading tackler for the Buckeyes, averaging 13 stops a ball game. Second down, they mark it for no gain, so it'll be second down and 10 when they spot the football.
This is the area of the field, Charlie. They like to go to their number 1 receiver, Wallace.
Right side knocked away. Good defensive play. Wallace, the intended receiver, and Garcia Lane knocked it down. All Big Ten honors on defense and leads the conference in punt returns. We'll be seeing a lot of him today. Number 12.
It's another out pattern down inside the 15-yard line. Eric Lane, number 12, sees it very, very well. Great play by Lane. Take a look at 79 in blue, Bill Freilich. one of the top offensive linemen in the country. We'll be watching him and his battle with Morrow all day today.
3rd down and 10. Then Jimmy into the corner of the end zone. No. Dwight Collins, the intended receiver. Sean Gale was there for the defense. Snuffy Everett coming in with a field goal attempt upcoming. Can Jimmy to hold. And Tony McNally coming in for the snap.
The impressive thing about that throw, Charlie, it wasn't complete. He was not open on the play, but he threw it where his man only could catch the ball. There was no chance of an interception.
From the 23-yard line, an attempt of 33 yards. Hits the upright, bounces away. It is no good from 33 yards away. Tough break for the Panthers. Good break for the Buckeyes. They lead 7-0. Now in at tailback for the Buckeyes is John Woldridge. Replacing Byers. You'll see action now. He's a sophomore, not a freshman. A little correction on the graphic. And he can move. Woldridge. Averaging 5.3 yards a carry. Wingrakowski and Tom Flynn make the tackle. 35-yard line, gain of 15, 1st down. And now Byers will come back in.
Ground level view. The Pittsburgh defense is frustrated at this point already, Charlie. They were moving around, trying to show some different fronts for the Ohio State offensive line. Their line just opened up the holes. They're running right through them at this point in the ball game.
1st down, Ohio State on their own 35-yard line. Keith Byers. All Big Ten. Sophomore, rushing yardage 1,126 during the season.
You know, Charlie Broadnax wears number 38, but he could just as well wear 68 because he's like a guard. Here we see him going back in motion, going to block in over the middle. Right there, he stuffs Apke, number 50, and they just push him back.
And that's a lead blocker weighing 252 pounds.
He weighs more than 10 of the 11 players on the Pittsburgh defense.
Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. This is a passing formation that they're showing on 2nd and 2. But they run off of it instead. Normally they show pass off of it. Broadnax, the ball carrier. Wingrakowski and Moss make the tackle. 48-yard line of Pitt. It's a 1st down. Gain of 9. The 6th 1st down in the ball game for the Buckeyes.
Ball placed down on the Pittsburgh 48-yard line. 9-yard pickup.
Anderson goes wide to the far side. Jimison is wide to the near side.
Here comes the tailback. Here comes the tailback.
Play action fake to the tailback. And a sack for the Panthers. Bob Shilkin now in at middle guard. Makes the play for Pitt. Maybe the incentive they need. They have to do something to stop Ohio State's offense.
And as an offensive coach for Ohio State, you say, why did we ever abandon our run? Because here we go to the pass, and we get a setback. Instead of 1st and 10, now we have 2nd and 18. We lose our momentum for the moment.
Back at the 43-yard line. There's Bob Shilkin, the sophomore from Pittsburgh. Only a pair of sacks during the season. He has the first one here. Byers comes back with 3 yards to the 46. So it'll be 3rd down 15. Bill Moss making the tackle, along with Steve Apke, the freshman.
One of the things Foge Fazio said they would try to do is slant their linemen to try to keep the big offensive lineman off of Apke. Apke is very quick, moves very well, but he doesn't weigh a lot. He has trouble with linemen coming right at him.
Keith Byers, 3 carries, 27 yards, a 9-yard average. 3rd down and 15, and jumping off sides is Bill Moss. Was he drawn? We'll wait and see. Shilkin also moving into the neutral zone. And it will be a false start pulled off by the Buckeyes. And today, later on, of course, in the ball game, we'll be naming the Toyota Most Valuable Player for the Fiesta Bowl. And the university, either Ohio State or Pitt, will receive a special trophy in his honor. In addition, Toyota will donate $1,000 to be shared equally by the general scholarship funds of both universities in honor of the participation in today's game. After the penalty, it's 3rd down and 20. Passes to Tom Byers, the intended receiver. It is incomplete. Ray Weatherspoon had very tough coverage.
Well, he had good vision. By that I mean he saw the play coming the entire time. As we'll take another look, Byers didn't see Weatherspoon coming. That play right there will intimidate the receivers for Ohio State. Weatherspoon and the entire secondary, very tough hitters for the Panthers.
Punting situation, 4th down. Carl Edwards kicking to Tom Flynn. Flynn fields it at the 23-yard line. He's to the 35, the 40. Returns to the 48-yard line. 25 yards on the return. Weatherspoon with a good block leading out in front, a 37-yard kick. And it was the punter, Carl Edwards, who made the tackle and saved the touchdown. You've got to cheer hurt. The Buckeye cheerleaders. National champions last 2 years. They'll be defending their title, but they've been bothered by injuries. All right, here's Pitt from their own 48-yard line. 1st down. Joe McCall. Maybe a yard. See where they spot it. Byron Lee with the tackle. You may mark it for no gain. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. This is Charlie Jones, Bob Greasy. 5:55 time remaining. We're in the first quarter of the Fiesta Bowl. Ohio State 7 and the Panthers of Pitt nothing. 2nd and 9. At the Pitt 49-yard line, here's Jimmy, the quarterback. Left side, pass is complete to Joe McCall, and he'll have 2, maybe 3 yards. Orlando Lowry was there for Ohio State.
It's not unusual, Charlie, in college football to see the plays being sent in either by signal or by a shuttle service, but I'm very impressed with both quarterbacks, both Tom Zach and Kangemi, at their presence at the line of scrimmage and how much they know what's going on, they see the coverage, and they'll check to the area that's vulnerable.
Joe McCall has rushed 5 times for 21 yards total. Pretty well shut down the last 2 times out there. Here's Kangemi. Throws, pulled down. Good reception as he goes over the middle to Bill Wallace at the 44-yard line. A gain of 5. So it will be shy of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down and still a couple to go. Lowry with the tackle.
Take a look at number 79, Bill Fralick, at the top in blue against Morrow, 2 of the top players on the field in the pits. Fralick holds him off long enough to get the ball off.
And an early gamble by the Panthers. 4th down and 2. They'll go with 2 tight ends, Wilson and Johnson. 4th down and 2. Over the top is McCall. 41-yard line. He needed 2. He got 3. It'll be a 1st down. Are you surprised with that kind of a gamble this early?
No, I'm not, Charlie. This is an excellent call. You just need a little penetration by your offensive lineman. You're in good field position. If you turn the ball over, it's about the 40-yard line. You've got a good defense. In a game like this early in the ball game, I think it's a good call.
Joe McCall, 20th in the nation in running, and he was airborne. You almost had to take his hang time. 1st down. Play action. Jimmy's going to run for it. To the 35, then slides close to the 33-yard line. Roland Tatum was there to cover him. And a very smart play for the quarterback to go down, because part of his responsibility is to come back to the huddle for the next play.
Exactly. He is no good to his team on the sideline if he gets injured. Get upfield, get as much as you can, and then say, okay, the party's over, let me get down, and I'll go back to the huddle and call another play.
Gain of 7 to the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Ohio State territory. Ohio State leading 7-0. Here's McCall. Gain of about 3 on the play. It'll be in the neighborhood of the first down. We'll take another look at it as the officials check the change on the sideline.
If you wonder why Pittsburgh is running to their left, it's because of Freilich 79 just clears out Morrill on that side. Brown 72 pulls and blocks the rest of the men. Good play by the Panthers.
It is third down, less than a yard to go for the first down. Here's a double tight end set, and McCall left side and is behind the blocking of Bill Freilich, and we have a flag drop back at the 39-yard line. It is against the Panthers, and that will erase the first down.
One of the things Foge Fazio told us about this ball game is he wanted to keep his offense on the field a lot to keep the ball away from the stampeding offense of the Ohio State Buckeyes. So far, he's been able to do that, except for the first drive.
Motion called against Pittsburgh, 7th play of the current drive. The first drive took 11 plays, led to a field goal attempt by Snuffy Everett from 33 yards. It was no good, hitting the upright. So it is third down, 5.5 to go for the first down. Rolling right is Konjimi. He's being chased. It is incomplete. Darrell Clark, the flanker, was the closest receiver, and it was Byron Lee, the sophomore from Columbus, number 82, who was chasing him down.
Play action fake gave Lee, 82, time to get upfield. You really don't like to have play action fakes when it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 yards, because it gives the defensive ends, as Lee is, time to get upfield and contain the quarterback, and he couldn't get outside to do what he wanted to do.
Konjimi has completed 5 of 9 passes for 50 yards. And here's another 4th down gamble at the 36-yard line of Ohio State. But again, they have good field position.
Out of field goal range.
Incomplete. Wallace, the intended receiver. Orlando Lowry was there, number 37, knocked it down for the Buckeyes. Ohio State holds, and they take over on down. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Here it is again. Good defensive play. We'll be back in just a moment. Buckeyes lead it 7-0.
Joe Moore talking to the offensive line of the Pittsburgh Panthers, trying to get them going.
Ohio State from their own 36-yard line, first down. Von Broadnax to the 41, where Bill Moss and Steve Apke make the tackle. It's a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5. Now let's check the Fiesta Bowl record book. 1973. Most rushing attempts. It is held by 2 men. First, Tony Dorsett with 30 carries. And that was against Arizona State in the 1982 Penn State. And USC and Marcus Allen also carried 30 times. That is the record in the Fiesta Bowl. John Woolridge, the tailback, from the 41 to about the 43-yard line, a gain of a couple, so it'll be 3rd down and still about 3 to go for the first down. Troy Benson and Steve Apke were there for the Panther defense. Woolridge alternating with Byers at tailback. We'll also see Roman Bates in there, and we could even see Kelvin Lindsay, but most of the time it will be Byers. Foge Fazio, head coach of the Panthers. Their record 8-2-1. 3rd down 3.
Watch your foot.
Too much time. 25-second violation. Ohio State interpreting that play differently.
Mike Tomczak, having such good success checking off, forgot about they only had 25 seconds to get the ball snapped.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense.
Voice of Gene Wirtz, the referee.
That's why it's so important, Charlie, to get the play into the huddle. Ohio State is running them in with messengers. It takes a little longer to do that. You want to get the play into the ball game, get it called, and get to the line of scrimmage so you have some time to operate once you're there.
Right guard Jim Lachey and Scott Zielinski, the messenger service. Complete, first down. Thad Jemison, 45-yard line, a gain of 17. They needed 8. Troy Hill with the tackle.
Play action fake, which is always good when you give the ball to 41 Byers so much. Reads this coverage very well. Throws it right where he should, right high where he can catch the football. Good play on first down.
Thad Jemison, 2 receptions, 37 yards. First down at the Pitt 45. A fumble on the exchange from the center to the quarterback. And it's a turnover. The Panthers have the football. In turnovers this year, Ohio State is +7, and the Panthers have Pitt +5. So we have a break in the action, and a break for Pitt. Ohio State leads it 7-0. We'll be back in a moment.
We'll take a look at the last play, a quarterback center exchange. The quarterback may have pulled out a little too soon. Looking for the ball, number 50, Apke, the freshman we've been talking about, finds it, grabs it, holds on to it.
Pitt from their own 43, first down. McCall to the 47 or the 48-yard line. It'll be about 5. Spencer Nelms with the tackle, and there's the freshman, Steve Apke from Cincinnati, 6'2½", 185, big fumble recovery.
Just following his blocking. McCall says, I'm going where the blue shirts are. Runs out of blue shirts and says, it's time to take the medicine.
That was Pitt's 20th offensive play in the ball game. In the first 2 drives, they gained 83 yards, but they came up empty. McCall, 8 carries, 30 yards. And here he comes again. Good defensive play. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line. It will be no gain, 3rd down and 5. And Dave Crecelius is the man who made the tackle. And with that play, time runs out in the first period. So in the Fiesta Bowl book, we have 1 complete, but still 3 chapters to go. The score, Ohio State 7 and Pittsburgh nothing. We start the second quarter, Ohio State leading Pittsburgh 7-0, and Pitt has the ball, 3rd down and 5 on their own 48-yard line. Can Jimmy to throw. Scoots up, goes deep, has a man there, it's caught. It is Joe McCall. 42 yards on the play to the 10-yard line of Ohio State. First down.
It's a good read by the young quarterback and Jimmy. He was looking to Wallace, as was the secondary of the Buckeyes. He steps up in the pocket with all the attention to Wallace. McCall slips by lane, number 12, gets down the sideline, and it's a perfect throw, and it's a big play.
First down just outside of the 10-yard line. 2 tight ends on the offensive set. McCall's second reception, 44 yards receiving. McCall again, a gain of a couple on the play. Dave Morrow with the tackle. Statistically, the first period. There it is.
20 yards in favor of the Buckeyes. Time of possession is about even. Really, it was about even except for the fact that Pittsburgh missed the field goal.
Ohio State leading 7-0. And Pitt right now trying to tie it up. Mark Bailey. Bailey spinning to the 5-yard line. He has 3. It'll be 3rd down there. And you can say it's 3rd down and 5 because in reality, if they come up inches shy of the goal line, they could pick up a first down. Backus with the tackle.
79, Bill Freilich against 57, Morrow. The ongoing battle. Morrow gives him a little slip. Freilich says, I don't like it. I'm going to get a linebacker.
So, that was Bailey's first game. Yes, Freilich does have a tendency to pick up 2 or 3 defensive players. Rolling right, there's a toss, caught in a crowd. Touchdown, Clint Wilson. From Pahokee, Florida. He's a junior. Sean Gale and Pepper Johnson went up with him, but Wilson came down with the football.
Little sprint out, option, run or pass, gives the quarterback some time to look around. And when you said, Charlie, he threw it into a crowd, watch this crowd. White shirts are everywhere. I'm not so sure he wasn't throwing it to Collins deep in the end zone, but Wilson jumped up and made the catch.
Extra point is up, and it is good. So Snuffy Everett splits the uprights, and we have a tie. Ohio State 7 and Pitt 7 with 13:25 left to go in the first half, and there is a catch in a crowd. We'll be back with a kickoff. The excitement of the Fiesta Bowl 7-7 tie. This just starts the day on NBC as Viancourt kicking off. Of course, we'll be followed by the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl. So stay with us now as Woolridge returns for the Buckeyes. Up the middle to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown pass between John Congemi and his tight end, Clint Wilson.
Good shot of Congemi in his face as he rolls out. Good protection. Wilson, I think, is saying, sees that ball in the air. He says, I'm 6'3". I'm going to go up and catch it. Even though it was maybe for Collins, I'm going to go up and get that touchdown.
So now the Buckeyes go to work, a 57-yard drive in 6 plays. Tom Zach, the quarterback for Ohio State, has completed 3 of 5 for 45. Congemi 7 of 12 for 97 and a touchdown. Byers gets the call, and he'll get a yard, maybe 2. Steve Abke, the freshman who set up the drive with a fumble recovery, and 54, Troy Benson. And now the Panther defense beginning to assert itself. Spotted at the 22-yard line, gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Roman Bates now in at tailback as Byers comes out for a breather. Fake to Broadnax, and then the pitch outside to Bates. And the defense is there. Led by number 50, Steve Abke. And Ray Weatherspoon, the strong safety.
Weatherspoon, number 9, makes an excellent play by getting upfield and forces the play back into the inside where Abke can make the play. Good defensive play by Weatherspoon. Abke moving from laterally left to right. His strength really in this ball game. Doesn't weigh much, about 220, but can move laterally very well. Replacing Cesar Aldisert, the junior at that spot, who is out of the ball game with a knee injury. A loss of a couple, 3rd down and 10. Pass far side complete. Buckeyes come back with a first down. Thad Jemison, number 88. 17 yards on the play. Melvin Dean was there for Pitt. But the Buckeyes pull this one out on 3rd and 10 at their own 20. Really was, Charlie. Just a little play action fake and a roll to the left. The thing that made this play, both wide receivers were on the wide side of the field. The inside receiver broke to the out. The outside receiver broke in. And there really wasn't much to it, except that they had a lot of yardage over there with the college hash marks being where they are.
3 receptions, 54 yards for Jemison, and we still have 11:54 left to go in the first half. Second back through, Byers back at the ball game from the 37 to the 41. Gain of 4, it'll be 2nd down and 6. Troy Benson with the tackle.
Abke, number 50, alongside of Benson, 54, the veteran and the freshman, moving laterally. Reads it, Benson gets there first, Abke finishes him off.
I have a feeling that both ball clubs may be a little nervous in the first quarter, now beginning to settle into their normal game plan.
I think the defensive line of the Pittsburgh Panthers is keeping the offensive line off those linebackers.
Here's Byers on the pitch. That is his 6th carry of the ball game. Tom Flynn makes the tackle from the 41 to the 46, a gain of 5, so he now has 38 yards in his 6 carries.
He just ran out of real estate. That's the short side of the field. I said something earlier about the hash marks in college. They are very close to the sideline. In pro ball, they are very close to the middle of the field. But in college, there is not much room to work back to the short side where the hash marks are.
Cedric Anderson, the wide receiver, comes out. Judd Groza, that's Lou Groza's son, is in as a tight end. A double tight end on the set. Third down, 1.5 yards to go for the first down, and it's going to be in the neighborhood. Keith Byers carrying. Apke again, very active. They're going after the freshman in his first start, but he has reacted very well.
Here's our guard wearing number 38, Vaughn Broadnax, on Weatherspoon, stands him up. That's a plus block for the fullback, Broadnax. Whenever you can hold your man and let your running back get past him, you've done your job.
And the change coming out for the measurement. Keith Byers, the leading rusher in the Big Ten, sophomore. Only the second sophomore in Ohio State history to rush for more than 1,000 yards. It'll be fourth down, and that is a skosh. Just about 4 to 5 inches. Now we've seen Pitt a couple of times on fourth down and yardage go for it.
Earl Bruce is going to go for it here on fourth down. This is a little bit more of a gamble than what Foch Fazio went for earlier, because this ball is on his side of the 50-yard line.
At the Ohio State 47, Bob Maggs is coming at center, replacing Joe Dooley. Quarterback sneak. Needed about 4 inches. Should have gotten it. But let's just make sure. It's there, first down. Needed 4 inches. In reality, he picked up 1 yard to the 48.
You think if this was the last game of the year, that Earl Bruce would have gone for that against the University of Michigan in his own territory?
But it's the last game of the season. It's the Fiesta Bowl, but the first game of next year, 1984. Fumble on the exchange. Tom Zach falls on it. And that's the second time they've had a problem with the that we've seen a problem with the exchange.
See Tom Zach talking to his center. The problem is sometimes, Charlie, the quarterback will sprint to his right and the center will turn to his left to block, and the ball will not get all the way up to where the quarterback's hands are. It's a combination, quarterback leaving a little too soon and the center pulling out a little bit too soon.
Bob Maggs is now the center. Joe Dooley has come out for a breather.
That always happens, it seems like. You put in a new center, no matter how much you work in practice, it's just the rhythm of the two working together. A little bit tempo is a little bit different.
Almost intercepted. Jemison, the intended receiver, covered by Troy Hill, who had the covered by Melvin Dean, who had the inside coverage on him. Let's take another look.
I wouldn't be surprised later on to see Jemison and Ohio State try to run by Dean, because he had this smelled out the entire way, sitting right on him. Jemison falls down. Dean makes a good play, but that may be something we'll see a little bit later. Jemison running, trying to get deep on Dean.
And it was number 56, Chris Dolman, that got a hand up to partially deflect the ball. Third down and 12, 46-yard line. Tom Zach, 4 of 7, 62 yards. This is the 10th play of the drive. As time drills it over the middle, it's complete. First down to Cedric Anderson. They'll spot it at the 37-yard line. 17 yards on the play. Troy Hill was there for the defense. A first down for Ohio State.
Little play action on third down. Byers goes through his flare control. Same play that they worked on a little bit earlier. Different receiver. Anderson is really a big play man. If he can get his feet back on the ground, he can do some big damage.
Ohio State moving from their own 20 to the Pitt 37. Roman Bates gets the call, and he will pick up 5 yards to the 32. It's second down 5. Ray Weatherspoon, strong safety with the tackle. Earlier you said it would be offensively the stampede of the Buckeyes, and they certainly have been doing that against a very tough Panther defense.
Well, they tried to run in this series. It got a little tough, and they opened it up with a pass. It's very smart on Ohio State's part.
But again, the run setting up the pass, having to look for the run every time. And here it is with Keith Byers. 3 yards to the 29. It'll be third down and a couple. Apke coming out with, is that Apke coming out with the football?
A lot of whistles out there.
No, it was Chris Dolan that came out with the football. And the whistles were telling Chris to come on, bring the ball back. We're going to play another down, and we're going in the same direction.
It's been a long time since these two teams have played a football game. They've been practicing for a long time. You get tired of hitting your own people. When they get out here and hit somebody else, they get excited.
And a long time, it has been 30 years since they have played each other. 3rd down and 2, 29-yard line. Another fumble on the exchange. Broadnax was diving for it. And so right now, Tomczak and his center, Bob Maggs, are having problems with that exchange. 3rd time in the ball game that the Buckeyes have fumbled, and they've lost that fumble once it set up a drive.
With a look at Tomczak, he didn't get the ball from the center. I don't know if Dooley is hurt or not, but I'm sure that Earl Bruce would like to get him back in the ball game as soon as possible.
It'll be 4th down and 2 when we come back, but the Buckeyes want to talk it over. They take a timeout. 7-7. We've got a tie. Joe Dooley, the starting center, he limped off. They wrapped his knee. He will be coming back in. Current drive, 13 plays, using more than 5.5 minutes, 51 yards. Here's the field goal attempt from the 36, an attempt of 46 yards by Rich Spangler. Does not make it. So Spangler misses from 46 yards away. And the tie remains. Ohio State 7 and Pittsburgh 7 with 7:48 left to go in the first half. Problem on the exchange, so when the offense is off the field, you work on it with Dooley and Maggs the center, Tomczak the quarterback. Right now, the Panthers of Pitt have the ball at their own 29-yard line, 1st down. Can Jimmy to throw? It's there. It is complete. Dwight Collins to the 47-yard line. A gain of 18. Pepper Johnson with the tackle.
Just zone coverage. Collins starts a little bit late. Roland Tatum, 32, really overruns his coverage. He should have been inside, ready to get him when he comes to the inside. He didn't do that. He overran it, opened up a big hole for Dwight Collins.
Darrell Clark now in as a wide receiver. 1st down Pitt, their own 47. This is Marlon McIntyre. He and Mark Bailey alternating at fullback as a messenger service, and Henry Brown now in on the defensive line for the Buckeyes. He's a freshman from New York City. He makes the tackle. Here's a quarterback comparison.
Both quarterbacks playing very well as far as I can see. Tomczak not throwing as much. Jimmy, as we said early on, has to throw more to try and get something done against the weakness, really, of the Ohio State secondary.
A gain of 2 on the last play to the 49, 2nd down and 8. And Jimmy, with an audible, throws far side. Didn't like the defense that he saw, and he goes to Bill Wallace with the pass completion. It'll be around 3 or 4 yards shy of the 1st down. Garcia Lane with the tackle for the Buckeyes.
Jimmy checking off again, as you said, Charlie. Saw the defensive back coming up to the corner of the line of scrimmage. Thought he was coming, and he did that for his own protection because he knew that nobody was going to block that defensive back if he came in. Checked to a short play on the other side. Good completion.
Just over 6 minutes left to go in the 1st half. Gain of 4, 3rd down and 4 at the Ohio State 47-yard line. McIntyre, the remaining back. He's there to block. The roll right, the throw down the sideline. No good. And a flag is dropped on the play. Bill Wallace, the intended receiver. You can tell the wind still whipping around about 16 miles an hour. Offensive pass interference. And here at Sun Devil Stadium, the U-shaped it. Well, the wind can be circular. It can attack you from every direction.
We were on the field a little bit earlier, and that was very true. The field goal kickers were having a problem finding out their distance and also exactly how to aim the football when they were going to try a field goal.
The penalty marked off against Pittsburgh takes him back to their own 38-yard line. Offensive passing. There it is.
Lost it down. Fourth down.
So Tony Recchia with the loss of down penalty is in to kick. He has a 40.8-yard average, and Garcia Lane, one of the outstanding punt returners in the nation, is set for Ohio State at the 20-yard line. Recchia's average ranks him 43rd in the nation as a collegiate kicker. Fielded at the 25. Excellent coverage by the special teams. A return of only a yard, maybe two. A kick of 37 yards. Officially a 2-yard return. Ohio State has the football. It's tied 7-7. Joe Dooley, the starting center, is back in the ballgame. Play action fake by Tom Zach, and the pass is complete. Jemison. No, it was John Frank. Excuse me, the tight end, and a flag is down as Frank goes close to the 45-yard line where Melvin Dean makes the tackle. John Frank with 4.6 speed, pre-med, and a 3.9 grade average. Spoke at the luncheon. Excellent speaker, outstanding young man. Face mask against the defense.
I was wondering when they were going to get Frank back in the offense on the crossing patterns. The time again, as we see a great look at Frank, is a very intelligent young man, as you see, pre-med from Pennsylvania, went to school with some of the Pittsburgh Panthers.
Against the defense. First down.
Adding the penalty to the end of the play, carries the ball to the Ohio State 49-yard line. First down.
Here we see Frank coming across. Good vision, good lane for the quarterback to see. Goes it to Frank, gets up yard 4.5 speed for a tight end that can block.
Woolridge, the remaining back. Broadnax in motion, becomes the lead blocker. A gain of a couple across the midfield stripe. Woolridge, the ball carrier. To the Pittsburgh 49, Dennis Attia with the tackle. It will be second down and 8.
And again, Ohio State throwing the ball on first down the last play to set up their run. They would like to run the ball and set up their pass. When it gets too hard to run the ball, then they'll go to the pass to loosen it up a little.
Tom Zach, the quarterback. Joe Dooley, starting center, back in. We haven't had any trouble with that exchange as he had when he was out and Max was there. The belly to Broadnax, taking it in, pulling it back. Broadnax, the leading blocker for Tom Zach. And Chris Dolman makes the tackle along with Steve Apke. 42-yard line of Pitt, gain of 7. So it'll be third down and still a yard to go for the first down.
Took a good look at the snap. Tom Zach getting the ball very cleanly, running the option. I don't think the Pitt Panthers expected Tom Zach to be running that option as well as he is.
But the physical makeup of the center can dictate where the quarterback puts his hands. In close, back outside, and maybe in the heat of battle when you exchange centers, you have a mishap as they've had a couple of times. Flag on the play. A gain of 4 by Byers if it stands up.
It's very true, Charlie. In practice, the quarterback will work with both the first and the second team center. But some, as you say, some rear ends of these centers are a little bit different, and some you have to put your hands in further, some you have to leave them out a little bit. And in the heat of battle, when you change centers, the quarterback is not thinking about that. He's thinking about checking off and a lot of other things. So consequently, you'll have mishaps and fumbles.
Penalty against the Buckeyes.
Motion penalty, offense, third down.
So it will be third down and 6. The ball with the penalty back to the 47-yard line. Ohio State, 15 yards. Pittsburgh penalized more thus far in the ballgame. Third down and 6. Tom Zach, far side. Thad Jemison has the first down, 38-yard line. Jemison is a good-looking receiver.
He's a fine-looking receiver. I'm gonna wait till he runs by Dean, because the last few plays, Dean has been right on him. That play wasn't. That was a replay of a play they used earlier on 3rd and 7 or 8. Inside receiver broke to the out. Outside receiver broke in, and nobody went out in the flat to cover Jemison. Smart play by Ohio State to go back to something that is working.
First down. Broadnax tied it in motion. The pitch is to Woolridge. Can't get around the corner. Gain of a couple of yards to the 36. Tom Flynn, free safety, and Troy Hill, the quarterback on that side. Hill played his high school ball at South River, New Jersey. Former graduates include Drew Pearson and Joe Theismann.
Good company.
Yes, sir.
Troy Hill is a very excitable player on that defensive secondary. Tommy Flynn, of course, is the quarterback, was a quarterback in high school, now the quarterback of the defensive secondary, calls all the signals.
Second down and 8. Inside the 30, diving to about the 28-yard line is Roman Bates. Troy Hill, again, the man who tripped him up. Bates, the tailback, as Byers comes out for a breather.
Chris Dolman, 56. As we look at Broadnax, 38, coming by, getting his block on Benson, struggling for yardage.
Bates, 3 carries, 11 yards rushing. Woolridge, 4 carries, 21. Tom Zach has completed 7 of 10 for 103 yards through the air. As the chains come out, it was closer to the 27-yard line, and it's a first down. So Ohio State doing in the first half what they wanted to do from an offensive standpoint. You mentioned it would be a stampede, but they want ball control, and they'll beat you to death. Just physically.
Pittsburgh's defense knows they have to shut down the run, and they have done it at certain times in drives, and when they do, Ohio State immediately goes to the pass, and that loosens them up.
Again, the belly series to Broadnax. Tom Zach, the quarterback, pulls it back out, and he goes to the 21-yard line. So he has 6. It'll be second down 4, and Steve Apke makes the tackle along with Alwyn Krakowski. Junior quarterback Mike Tomczak played at Thornton Fractional High School in Calumet City, Illinois, under his father, Ron, who was his coach, and he set school records for running and passing touchdowns.
And he is a good passer. He's rated number 12 in the nation.
Roman Bates to the 20-yard line. Third down coming up. And about 2.5 yards for the first down. Troy Benson with the tackle, along with Bill Moss.
I think if you're Pittsburgh's defense here, you've got to think Keith Byers and John Frank. Frank on a little delay going across, or Byers up the middle on the run.
The ball just outside the Pitt 20-yard line. Tomczak fires, it is caught. A sliding reception, the pass a little behind Thad Jemison. 2-yard line, gain of 18, first down, goal to go.
It's a good read by Tomczak. Frank was coming across. He had 3 linebackers on him. Good read. No linebackers in between he and Jemison. Fires the ball in there. It's first and goal on the 2.
The Buckeyes have scored more than twice as many times running as throwing this year, 33 to 15. Broadnax and Byers in the backfield. Broadnax, now that is 252 pounds of a senior fullback struggling in the arms of Ray Weatherspoon.
Tackled by Ray Weatherspoon, number 9.
Here's a good look at it. Give it to my biggest man in the backfield. Good job by Weatherspoon, number 9, Benson, 54, clogging it up, just waiting for some help. He said, come on, Blue Jerseys, give me some help.
He was giving away about 60 pounds on the struggle. The Pitt defense allowing only 14 touchdowns all season long. Ken Blair.
Offside, defense, first down.
Ken Blair coming into the offensive set. Offsides against the defense, half the distance to the goal, and the down goes over. The Panther and Brutus Buckeye. Look for Ken Blair in motion, though.
Number 15, Tom Zach, the quarterback.
Tom Zach just trying to edge it in from a yard out.
Number 50, Steve Atkins.
He has scored the Buckeyes touchdown earlier. That was when he capped a 64-yard drive in 8-play scoring from 3 yards out. And there it is, about 4 inches away.
A certain way for your quarterback to get a headache is right here. Dive him over the top, get all the linebackers and defensive backs come in with their forearms. That'll get you a headache real quick.
Tom Zach, 8 carries, 11 yards rushing and a touchdown. Over the top. And the score, Keith Byers. Byers with a Big Ten record of 19 touchdowns rushing has one here in the Fiesta Bowl.
No surprises here. I formation, Broadnax, your big blocking back. Give it to your best running back. Let him jump over the top. Touchdown.
So Ohio State moves out in front for the second time in the ballgame. Rich Spangler will attempt the extra point. Tom Zach to hold. Doug Whitmer will snap. And it is good.
The kick is good.
Ohio State 14, Pittsburgh 7. Keith Byers not only led the Big Ten in rushing this season, he broke the single-season Big Ten scoring record with 114 points. He's a sophomore. We are back with the drive. Time, 4 minutes, 52 seconds in this quarter. The Buckeyes also had the ball on another drive, 5.5 minutes. They had the ball about 10 minutes in the second quarter, and they have the lead, 14-7. Rich Spangler kicking off for Ohio State. Taken at the back edge of the end zone by Tom Brown. Down at that point, and will bring it out to the 20-yard line. The clock not starting until the ball touched in the field of play, so we still have, are you ready for this? Only 51 seconds left to go, first half. Pittsburgh had the football about half, a little more than half of the first quarter. Pittsburgh has not had the football that much in the second period. Ohio State has had offensive possession. Now 51 seconds left to go in the first half. Jimmy from his own 20-yard line. Mark Baylor hit at the 25. His momentum carries him to the 27-yard line. Second down and 3. And the clock moving.
Tackle by number
going without the huddle.
Johnson and number 97, Dave Slater.
Far side pass is complete and out of bounds. That is the tight end, Clint Wilson, stopping the clock now with 18 seconds left to go.
Clint Wilson.
First half.
Tackled by number 27.
We talked about time of possession, total offensive plays. Ohio State 41, Pittsburgh 29. That's 12 more plays.
Ohio State really dominating in the second quarter on the 2 long drives, and I think when you run the football, those are the type of things you can do. Control the football, keep it away from Kangemi and the passing of the Pittsburgh Panthers.
Gain of 5 to the 32, first down, Foch Fangio, Panthers head coach. 14-7, Ohio State leading. Kangemi going deep, overthrowing, should have been intercepted. Garcia Lane was the perfect receiver, and he just dropped it.
That was too easy for him.
Took his eye off of it.
He's got 2 interceptions on the year. He's run 2 punts back, as we've said. They didn't handle this one. Kangemi just overreacts to this ball. He throws the ball straight down the field, thinking Wallace was going to go straight up. Wallace breaks to the inside. There are adjustments that are run by the wide receivers depending on what they see in the secondary. Obviously, Kangemi read him wrong.
Kangemi has completed 11 of 17, 131 yards. Touchdown, 2nd and 10. This one is complete. McCall. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Clock is stopped. 18 yards on the play. Pepper Johnson and Clark Backus were there for the Buckeye defense. The ball just across the 50. Pitt with a timeout. With 3 seconds left to go in the first half.
Anytime you can get the ball in the hands of McCall, he can make something happen. It was a good play. Now they're just going to have to throw the ball downfield. They have no timeout, no time left to stop the clock. You've got to hope for something in the end zone, maybe an interference or a lucky touchdown.
McCall, 3 receptions for 62 yards. We've got a timeout. We have 3 seconds left to go first half. We'll be back for those 3 seconds in a moment.
It's a great day.
This is Charlie Jones, Bob Greasy. Do-it-all Joe McCall has 93 yards in total offense, 62 yards receiving, 31 yards rushing.
He's a good friend of the quarterback, too.
Yes, he is.
It's nice to have that halfback, that running back that can catch the ball and also run it for you.
3 receivers on the far side, and you can expect Jimmy just to throw it up and see if somebody can get there. And it is Garcia Lane who got there. He officially has an interception as the half comes to a close. With the score, Ohio State 14 and Pittsburgh 7. It is halftime of the Fiesta Bowl. Still to come, the Rose and the Orange on NBC. The statistics in the first half, Ohio State total offense, almost 40, 50 yards more than the Panthers. I think the big key there right now is time of possession, 5 minutes difference.
Well, it is important in this case because Ohio State has controlled the game with their offense and has not let the Pittsburgh offense on the field.
So it is Ohio State 14 and Pittsburgh 7 as we get ready to start the second half. And the third quarter has always been interesting for the Pittsburgh Panthers. This year they have allowed, over the season, 11 games, they have allowed only 16 points in the third quarter. Now the Buckeyes are not that shabby. They've allowed only 29 in the third quarter. So we may not have a lot of scoring right now. That's what it sounds like. Ohio State has outscored their opponents 234 points to 61 points in the second and third quarter combined. And Pittsburgh has scored a total of 265 points all season. All that those numbers mean is that we're ready for the kickoff.
And also that Pittsburgh has got to stop Ohio State and then get their offense on the board and score some points. They cannot score points when their offense is not on the field.
But the Panthers will start receiving the kickoff. Tom Brown, Chuck Scales, and Mark Bailey will be the 3 men set for the return, as Rich Spangler will start the second half. Buckeyes lead it 14-7 here in the Fiesta Bowl. Fielded by Mark Bailey, 10-yard line. Straight up the middle on the return. There was a fumble. Had the play been blown down? Ohio State has the ball. Scott Leach, number 8, recovered the fumble.
Not your ideal way to start off the second half. It just takes away the momentum. Coach Fazio had pumped up the Panthers to come out and take the opening kickoff. There you see the ball coming loose right there. Nobody knows about it except a few Ohio State players, and they get on it very quickly. Not the way to start for the Panthers.
But an excellent way to start for the Buckeyes. Lanise is the man who jarred the ball loose, and here comes Broadnax, 250 pounds and all. Tom Flynn with the tackle. 17-yard line.
And when Big Broadnax, number 38, carries the football, you want to hit him low. You don't want to get him up high. Great blocking by the offensive line.
And a penalty flag against Ohio State. The line of scrimmage was the 31-yard line. The play went to the 17. But now the penalty will place the ball back at the 32.
Illegal use of the hands, offense,
Illegal
first
use of
down.
The down goes over. It will be first down and 11. Penalty assessed from the spot of the foul. First and 11 at the Pitt 32-yard line. So the Buckeyes here with an opportunity to give themselves some breathing room. On an option just inside the 30, Tomczak, the ball carrier, and Bill Moss makes the tackle. Mark at the 29-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 8. So now the Pitt defense expecting an offensive drive, receiving the kickoff, but then with the fumble, they have to kind of get together.
They have to rise up. This is what the strength of the Pittsburgh team is their defense. They had to carry the offense earlier in the year. They had a down period, and now they've come back to play very well. And as we've said, they only allow 12 points a game on the average throughout the season.
Second down, a little play action fake. Incomplete, a little short of Keith Byers, the intended receiver. Will be third down and 8. This situation, we might want to keep an eye on number 89, John Frank, the tight end, as he is one of the offensive threats of the Buckeyes that Foge Fazio said that they must stop. He has 2 receptions, 23 yards in the first half.
Surprising that Ohio State has not gone to him more, but they have been covering him very well, and that has opened the game up for Jemison, number 88, I think, who has caught 5 balls already.
Third down 8. Pump fake. Deep pattern. End zone overthrown. Incomplete. It will be fourth down and 8 at the 29-yard line. We might address ourselves here to one fact, in that the field goal kickers are not that strong on either ball club.
Well, Schubert of Pittsburgh has been injured. Here's Jemison releasing from the right side, going down the middle of the field. Now, Tomczak was looking to Frank to his left, trying to get the other safety out of the way. Flynn was out of there, but Weatherspoon, number 9, had good coverage on Jemison.
Rich Spangler for the Buckeyes, his longest field goal successful kick, 36 yards. Stuffy Everett's longest successful for the Panthers is 45, but he is only 2 of 4. So that's the reason you're not seeing field goal kickers in this situation. Tomczak rolls, throws, it is high, it is incomplete. On fourth down and 8, John Frank, the man that we talked about a moment ago, the intended receiver, but the Panther defense holds. So they take over. We'll see Pittsburgh on offense in just a moment. Crucial series of downs for the Pittsburgh defense. Ohio State leads. The margin is 7. We'll be back. Earl Bruce, head coach of Ohio State, in the cap. Record 8-3 this year. Panthers open up with 2 tight ends from their own 30-yard line, first down. Then Jimmy, the quarterback. Here's Joe McCall. McCall across the 40. McCall to the 44-yard line. Gain of 14. First down. Kelvin Bell with the tackle. First down, Pitt. Their own 44-yard line. Here is McCall. 4 yards to the 48. It will be second down and 6.
One thing differently the Panthers have done here in the second half is come out with 2 tight ends, pitch the ball to McCall and get him wide, let him find a seam, a little hole in the defense, and get upfield. So far it's worked on the first 2 plays of the second half.
McCall averaging 4.9 yards a carry this season, almost 9 yards a reception. Second down. Mark Bailey. A yard to the 49. It'll be third down and 5. Spencer Nelms, a middle guard, was there to make the tackle. Offensively, Freilich, Durundo, Sweeney, Brown, and Brown. That's Bob and Tony, not related on that offensive line. Wilson and Johnson have been the double tight end set. And you'll see Wallace. We've been seeing Wallace as a wide receiver. Stinnett also coming in and out, along with Dwight Collins. At fullback, McIntyre and Bailey. McCall the tailback, and Jimmy the quarterback. Third down 5, you look for the pass. And a quarterback draw will come up a couple of yards shy of the first down. A gain of 3, it'll be fourth down and 2. Spencer Nelms, number 54, the middle guard, was not fooled.
Nelms was not fooled. Plus, he's going against a very good center in Jim Sweeney. Sweeney is probably one of the finest centers in the country as in college football is concerned. He gets overshadowed by the fact that Bill Freilich is on the same offensive line.
Tony Recchia will be kicking, and Garcia Lane is set for the return. His first punt, 37 yards. He goes for the sideline, and he gets it. Let's see where they mark it out. They're going to mark it out at the 22-yard line. So Ohio State will take over on their own 22, leading in the ball game 14-7 with just 11-13 left to go in the third. Recchia's kick good for 26 yards to the 22-yard line.
22-27.
The snap, I think, came out before everybody was ready. Tomczak scrambles for 3 yards to the 25. It will be 2nd down and 7. We've been talking about Thad Jemison, number 88. He is having an excellent game. 5 receptions for 81 yards. Let's check the Fiesta Bowl record book. Well, it shows in 1975, that's now 9 years ago, most pass receptions in a Fiesta Bowl, John Jefferson of Arizona State in the game against Nebraska. 8 is the record. And that is the Fiesta Bowl record that Jemison is going after right now.
And John Jefferson went on to do pretty well too, didn't he?
San Diego and Green Bay, yes sir. A lot of big names, big players have been in the Fiesta Bowl in the 13 outings of this game. Too much time. 25-second violation, a delay of game. There it is, delay of game.
Charged against the Buckeyes.
Not the ideal way to start off the second half for Earl Bruce and the
now they've had
Buckeyes.
now in the last 2 plays, one the snap came up. I think the ball came up too soon, or there was a little mix-up, and now
Ball placed on the 21.
you know, a delay of game. So what causes this?
Well, I think you go in halftime, you're up, you come back out the second half, you get the ball in good field position, you don't do anything with it, and it kind of is a letdown. So now they got to get their concentration level back up.
Pass is complete. It is Thad Jemison. Jemison now with 6 receptions, only 2 away from tying the record book. Ray Weatherspoon makes the tackle.
Jemison on a crossing pattern. Frank takes the coverage deep. Jemison is the beneficiary of the double coverage on John Frank. Jemison only caught 27 passes all year. He can break that today.
Averaging on the season almost 16 yards a reception. It is 3rd down and 3. 29-yard line. Ohio State in their own territory. Tomczak to throw. The tight end, John Frank, to the 40 with a stiff arm. Leads to the 47-yard line. Gain of 18. Tom Flynn with the tackle.
By number 5, Tom Flynn.
1st down.
1st down, Ohio State.
This is vintage Ohio State football. Fake to your favorite running back. Pull the linebackers up. Hit your tight end, John Frank, going across the middle. This time he's open. They're covering the wide receivers downfield. So Tomczak very alertly sees the coverage, gives it to Frank, and he gets downfield and gets some yardage. An excellent receiver with very good speed.
Tomczak has completed 11 of 16, 157 yards. And this time he gives to John Woolridge, the tailback.
Carrier is number 25, John Woolridge.
Woolridge with a couple of yards on the play to the 49. It will be 2nd down and 8. Bill Moss with the tackle just outside the 48-yard line. The officials spot the ball.
9, ball on the 48-yard line.
I believe how young these quarterbacks look. You look into their helmets, and I don't even think they're shaving yet.
They may be young, but they're very tough and talented.
I'm impressed with them. They are very well prepared, very well coached coming into this ball game.
Play action by Tomczak. He goes deep, and it's incomplete. Jemison, the intended receiver, he's trying to run off Melvin Dean, cut back towards the quarterback, but there was good defensive coverage by Dean.
And that's the combination, as you see, Dean 28 and Jemison. Jemison gets right up on top of him. Dean coverage all the way. Got to run down, make a little break to the outside with Jemison, and then go upfield, a little curl and go, because Dean is taking every fake that Jemison is giving him.
Third down. Having lots of time. Now the pressure, throwing this one away. That was over Anderson's head, but he had the time, good defensive coverage. Then when he felt the pressure, like a good quarterback, he got rid of the ball.
Exactly. And the reason we mentioned only 5 sacks on the year. He's very elusive, scrambles around well, but he also is intelligent enough to know that when the party's over, I'm going to throw it away and avoid the sack.
Bob Bukowski was putting the pressure on the quarterback. Carl Edwards to kick. His first kick covered 37 yards. This is his second of the ball game. And Tom Flynn is set for the return. 35th in the nation in punt returns. And he will field it at the 10-yard line. Just a couple of yards on the return. Excellent coverage, a 41-yard kick. 2 yards on the return. Orlando Lowry was there for the Buckeyes. Congratulations, Kevin Halter, Jenny and Jay. All right, a future Buckeye.
Quarterback, I'm sure.
Nice way to start the new year.
Catalog. See your Fiesta Bowl game tickets.
Pittsburgh from their own 13-yard line, first down, trailing by 7 in the ball game. Today, Kajimi has moved to the number 6 spot on Pitt's single-season passing yardage, 1,720 yards after the first half. But here he goes to Joe McCall. McCall has 4 to the 17, so it will be second down and 6 as Roland Tatum makes the tackle. Offensively for Pitt, they have to throw the ball. It's just a feeling. Am I making the correct statement?
Well, I think so, Charlie, but I think what they're doing now is trying to establish a run to take the pressure off of their wide receivers. I think Ohio State is expecting them to throw and is dropping more people in the secondary than Pittsburgh would like.
Here's McCall. Hit at the 20 by Orlando Lowry. And then to the 22, Tatum was also there. So mark it for 5. It'll be third down and just about a yard to go for the first down.
Take a look at 51, McNally, who is in there for Sweeney, blocking on Nelms. Does a good job as long as you can make Nelms go around you if the play is going away from that direction. If it's going to the right, you can make him go around you to the left. You're doing your job. Here we see McCall just getting some tough yardage, running over Lowry, number 37.
Third and 1.
Dave Morrill, the injured player for the Buckeyes. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment to the 13th Fiesta Bowl. Dave Morrill's knee being wrapped with a little ice. Tony Giuliani has replaced him in the lineup for the Buckeyes. Third down and 1. McCall, and he may not have picked it up. Roland Tatum was there to greet him. McCall, 120 yards total offense, 62 yards receiving, 58 yards rushing prior to this game. I mean, prior to that carry. And McCall, 500 yards in the last 3 games of the season rushing.
Roland Tatum, 32, is the man that makes things happen for the defense for the Buckeyes. Got there in time, read it all the way, and stopped the Panthers from making a first down.
So that means that Tony Recchia will be kicking.
Number 42, Tony Recchia.
And Garcia Lane is set for the return.
12, Garcia Lane.
So this time it was the Buckeye defense that held. Good kick. Lane taking it back at the 25-yard line to the 30. Returns near the 39-yard line. We've got a timeout. Ohio State has the lead and the football, 14-7 with 6:47 left to go. We're in the third quarter at the Fiesta Bowl. Tony Recchia's kick was 51 yards. Well, let's check the Fiesta Bowl record book. The longest kick in the Fiesta Bowl 2 years ago, 1982, Penn State, USC. The punter was Ralph Giacomo of Penn State. And here it is, the record kick.
Ohio State University Alumni Club of Phoenix.
63 yards. So Recchia, with a good kick, still is 12 yards shy of the record book. Now the Buckeyes at their own 39-yard line, first down. Broadnax. Vaughn Broadnax from Sidney, Ohio, 6'2", 252-pound senior.
38, Vaughn Broadnax.
Bill Moss makes the tackle.
71.
Let's revisit with our freshman Apke blocking on 73. Karowitz Karowitz getting the best of him.
Ball placed down on the 45-yard line.
I don't think Apke was too happy about that, Charlie. What do you think?
Well, it was a wrestling matchup in Broadnax.
It's a little over. It was like a heavyweight against a lightweight.
That's right, but Broadnax, Ohio, heavyweight wrestling champion. But you're right, a little difference in the weight. Broadnax again.
On Broadnax.
This time it is Troy Benson who takes him on. Benson has a few more pounds. He weighs in at 225.
Steve Apke.
Boy, Broadnax, that's a load and a half, isn't it?
When he's carrying the football and you're a defensive back, the place you want to get him is around the ankles or grab onto the shoulder pads and wait for help.
Spotted at the 48. It's 3rd down and 1. That's what, 3 bricks shy of a full load right there.
There you go.
3rd down and 1. Spinning through is Keith Meyer. And he is pulled back.
Apke doesn't weigh enough to hold him back.
41.
Apke, the freshman, weighing in at 185 pounds. Again, if you joined us late, his first start, replacing Al Desert, who's out with a knee injury, and the kid has looked good.
He has. He went to Cincinnati Moeller, and he played on the same team with a lot of top recruits that went to a lot of schools, and Foge Fazio was saying he really wasn't that highly thought of coming out, but he liked the way he moved, and they thought they could put some weight on him. He says, he hasn't put much weight on yet.
Gain of 4, 1st down. At the Pitt 48-yard line. Play action, Tom Zach to throw. Steps away from pressure, down the middle. It is intercepted. Tom Flynn with the interception to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the Ohio State 44-yard line, and the Panthers have something to celebrate about.
This was only the 2nd poor pass by Tom Zach all day. He goes to Frank. He's got Anderson open on the other side of the field. As you can see Anderson at the top of your screen. Now Tommy Flynn gets the ball. He was a quarterback in high school. Also returned punts. He looks like he's doing his forte right here. Good return. Sets up the offense for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
At the Ohio State 44-yard line. On their other score, Apke set it up with a fumble recovery. Pass complete to McCall. The defense reacts, 41-yard line, gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. When Pitt scored in the first half, Apke recovered the fumble. He went 57 yards in 6 plays. Turnovers are even at 2-2. Tom Flynn of Verona, Pennsylvania, the senior, 40 yards on the return. Everybody has a son.
They're all saying, Mom, I'll be home tomorrow.
That's the way it should be at the Fiesta Bowl number 13. Little play action fake. All alone is Bill Wallace. Inside the 30, 29-yard line, 12 on the play, 1st down. Garcia Lane with the tackle. Lane with an interception to his credit in the ballgame.
We'll see the linebacker blitzing. Wallace sees it, so does the quarterback, and Jimmy gets him the ball very quickly. Eric Lane then has to come over and make the tackle. Good read by Wallace and the quarterback on the blitz.
Wallace, the hot receiver on that play?
Exactly. You have to see it. It's an onside adjustment. The receiver and the quarterback must see it.
Wallace intercepted in the end zone.
Jimmy's pass intercepted by number 4.
Kelvin Bell. Ohio State will have the ball at the 20-yard line. Number 4, Kelvin Bell of Richmond, Virginia. 4 interceptions during the regular season. Accolades for the Buckeyes, disappointment for the Panthers.
Jimmy over on the sideline immediately picks up the phones, talking to the coach upstairs, saying, what's wrong? You work on him. That time he shouldn't have thrown the ball.
We're in the 3rd quarter with 4:22 left to go. Ohio State has the ball, 1st down on their own 20-yard line. The second back through is Keith Meyer. And a flag is down on the play, so while we sort out the flag, Dennis Attia with the tackle. Let's go back to the interception just a moment ago.
And number 54, Troy.
We'll take a look at Wallace. Bell, number 4, is not fooled. You know, Charlie, this ball should not have been thrown. You work all week in practice and you say, this is going to be open in this situation, and the quarterback sometimes just throws it without reading the coverage. You have to come out and read the coverage. If it's there, you take it. If it's not, you go to another receiver. That time, Kangemi threw the ball when he shouldn't have thrown it.
Outstanding defense, so on the other side by Kelvin Bell. And I'm not sure that their ship is firmly tied to the pier. But they do have the right initials.
The right numbers.
The penalty takes the ball to the 10-yard line. It'll be first down and 20.
John Kangemi still referring to the last interception, talking to the coach upstairs.
Tomczak handing off to Byers. Keith Byers from the 10 to the 13, gain of 3, second down and 17. Will the Buckeyes be throwing this deep in their own territory? Atia with the last tackle.
I think if they are throwing, they'd throw to somebody that is sure-handed like Frank, and they would get their quarterback outside the pocket where it is not hard to see. You can see very clearly, and you throw it to Frank or else you throw it away.
And if the quarterback gets outside of the pocket, he doesn't have to read coverage.
You don't have to read coverage, and you can see very well. Tomczak not that big. The lineman in front of you sometimes you can't see, but if you can get outside the pocket, you don't have to read anything. It's just who's open and let me throw it to him.
Second down, 17.
Ohio State.
Timeout, Ohio State called with 1 second on the 25-second clock.
Well, I'm not sure it was because of the time or else he had either called the formation incorrectly or somebody had lined up incorrectly. But he wanted to make sure he did the right thing and call timeout, especially that deep in your end zone.
You're second and 17, the ball on your own 13-yard line. And you have 3:17. That is the time remaining. We're in the third quarter. Ohio State 14, Pittsburgh 7. We'll be back in a moment. Number 15, quarterback of the Buckeyes, Mike Tomczak, has completed 11 of 19, 157 yards, and interception. He's rushed for 17 yards. And here is Keith Byers with Dennis Atia making the tackle. 17-yard line, gain of 4, third down 13. Jim Carsados, pure passer.
Backup quarterback, a strong arm. I don't think he's warming up to go in the ball game. Tomczak has had a good game. He doesn't seem to be injured or anything. I think he's just over trying to stay loose.
Just stay loose. It's a little cool because of the wind. It's been swirling around at 16 miles an hour. Bowers 53 yards rushing and a touchdown. Here's Tomczak to throw. He fires, tipped, incomplete. Diving for the interception, no. Close, but no football. Anderson tipped it, and Troy Benson was scrambling after the interception. And he almost got there.
Troy was trying to convince the official that he caught it. The official was right there, had a good view of it. Take a look at the play-action fake. He's got to throw it over Dolman. Dolman actually tips the ball. That's what you call throwing into coverage. I don't know. He couldn't really see. We were blocked by Dolman on the play to see whether or not he caught it.
Here's the punt by Edwards. And Flynn fields it on the 45, steps out of bounds about the 48-yard line. A 38-yard kick, 3 yards on the return. So Pittsburgh with excellent field position. They'll be moving on offense. And stay with us today. We have an exciting Fiesta Bowl working here. Ohio State leading by 7 with 2:26 to go in the third. Then it's on to the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. UCLA, number 5, Illinois. Then under the lights, prime time, number 1, Nebraska against number 4, Miami. And now the Panthers from their own 48-yard line. The pass is complete to Dwight Collins. Doug Hill makes the tackle. They'll spot the ball at the Ohio State 46-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play, second down and 4.
I was talking with, as we look at Troy Benson, Troy was the one that almost had the interception, talking it over there and trying to convince the referee. You know, these officials aren't too easily swayed anymore. They are always in the right position at the right time and usually make the right calls.
Second and 4.
578 max.
incomplete, a flag down on the play. Freilich may have stepped back a little too soon. Wallace, the intended receiver. Pepper Johnson was there for the Buckeyes.
You could hear Kangemi calling out his signals, 578 max, 578 max.
Is that an audible or a sincere audible?
A lot of times you'll check off by repeating the snap count. And usually their snap count is either 1, 2, or 3. So when he goes up to 5, it's probably not a checkoff.
But if it is, sometimes he wants to fake him out. Legal procedure against the offense. And when he wants to make them think that he is going to an auto but is not going to an auto, wants the defense to change, it's a sincere auto.
Well, he says it very sincerely. He looks to both sides. 578, 578. It's almost to say, have you got it? And of course he's not checking off at all. He's just trying to let the defense think he is and change what they have called.
The call, I'm sure, on Bill Freilich.
Talking with
the
Danny.
All-America tackle, pulling back just a little too soon. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Charlie. I was talking to Danny Marino, the quarterback for the Dolphins. Last year was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Panthers. About Kangemi. Says he is a very intelligent young man. He says doesn't have the strongest arm. He got a good strong arm, but not a cannon. But yet he's very intelligent, very smart. Always does the right thing and gets it done. I'm very impressed with him today.
He's completed 15 of 23, 172 yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions. Pitt at their own 49-yard line, 2nd down and 9. Did you notice the defensive lineman knocked away? Good defensive play by Roland Tatum. But I have a feeling it's just what we were talking. Is that an audible? Was he checking off? What is he doing?
Exactly right. We couldn't see it in the shot, but Kangemi saw Tatum and the other linebackers up faking a blitz. He checked off, they checked out of it, and then they were right where the hot receiver was. We'll take a look. The linebackers dropped right where Collins was going. There's a good scouting on that play. The coaches prepared him well, get up, show the blitz, and then drop off where his hot receiver is.
Tatum, who made the play for the defense, only one of 2 Ohio State players from west of Illinois. He's from Inglewood, California. That is west. Here is McIntyre. McIntyre hit at the 42. A flag dropped back at the 48-yard line. Garcia Lane for the Buckeyes.
On the tackle number 12, Garcia Lane.
The officials today are out of the WAC conference. Gene Wirtz, Gene Agnes, Tom Robinson, Rocky Arroyo, Bob Mantooth, Doug Reeves. And we were talking to them yesterday about maybe going to an extra official in the college ranks and in some of the conference has. And Gene Wirtz said in the WAC conference, it will be a clip against the offense that particularly Brigham Young putting the ball in the air as much as they do, that they may go to the extra official. Junior high principal, a federal probation officer, public school teacher, vice president marketing, sales, communication distributor. Today's officials.
Senior. Ball placed down on the 37.
Flipping the offense, 3rd down.
So the ball goes back to the 36-yard line and the down goes over.
It was the first screen pass we've seen today, Charlie, and it looked pretty good. They may go back to that play a little bit later in the game.
3rd down and 22 at the 36-yard line. It's there, he's got it, 1st down, 39-yard line of Ohio State. They may mark it at the 40. 24 yards on the play. And it was Jeff Casper, number 88, from Washington, Pennsylvania, who caught it.
This is just a great throw by Kangemi. He gets deep, steps up in the pocket, reads the coverage, and fires the ball right to the man. Here, we'll take a look at it. Good catch, good concentration. Castor has not been in the ball game very much today. He's got to be cold coming in there.
He's back on the sideline. You notice he wears the shatterproof goggles. During the regular season, 4 receptions. So his 5th of the year and a big one for the Panthers. Little play action fake, pass is there. Knocked out of bounds. Is it complete? Yes. At the 26-yard line, gain of 14. This one to Bill Wallace. Sean Gale for the defense. So the offense of Pittsburgh is underway.
It is moving, and it's moving through the air. As we said early on, the way to get to the Ohio State team is through the air. This is where they've had their problems all day. Excellent throw, 1 foot in bounds, good catch.
And you said it would be the Pitt defense that would have to hold off the offense, then the throwing of Kangemi. Circle the wagons and let Kangemi fire the arrow. Mark Bailey from the 26 to the 24, a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8. Dave Morrow, you remember, out of the ball game earlier in this period with an injury. He's back in. 25 seconds and counting, time remaining, 3rd quarter.
It's a good battle going on in the middle of that line between Jim Sweeney and Spencer Nelms. Sweeney, as we said earlier, overlooked by a lot of the All-American teams this year, only because of the fact that Bill Fralick was so dominant at left tackle.
We said Kangemi would be firing the arrows. Well, he has 210 yards passing, and here he gets sacked. That will come off of his rushing yardage. Spencer Nelms is the man who dropped him, and with that play, the 3rd quarter will come to a close. So we still have 1 chapter to write. Ohio State leads by 7. We'll be back after these messages.
Let's take another look at the last sack. 32. Roland Tatum is the man who gets in there. Pettijohn comes off on him and leaves him free. Make the sack. That's the way you stop the quarterback from throwing the football.
3rd down and 15, 31-yard line. It is caught. And again, it is Jeff Casper, his 2nd reception of the ball game. And it's another big one. 3rd down and 15, the pass to the 13-yard line.
This is an excellent throw. Look at it from the end zone. Kangemi is throwing this ball before he makes his break. Throws it to the outside away from number 4, Bell. Throws it away from him. Castor makes a good catch. Big 1st down for Pittsburgh.
Casper, 2 receptions for 43 yards, both on key downs, long yardage. Here's McCall. Fumbles into the end zone. It will be a touchdown recovered by Pittsburgh.
I think Wilson got it.
Number 84, Clint Wilson, scoring his 2nd touchdown of the ball game.
You talk about being at the right place at the right time. I don't think the first pass, that touchdown pass, was intended for him. Certainly this one wasn't supposed to be a touchdown for Wilson. Being at the right place at the right time.
All of life is timing. Snuffy Everett will go for the tie. He splits it, and he has it. And we are tied at 14. Joe McCall, 71 yards rushing, 16 carries, but the key here is Clint Wilson with the fumble recovery in the end zone, his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. We'll be back with a kickoff. The ball game tied at 14-14. Keith Byers, number 41, John Wooldridge, number 25, are set to return the kickoff of this man, number 2, Pat Viancourt, freshman, Parma, Ohio. He was a walk-on, left-footed kicker. And the wind that we've talked about, 16 miles an hour, swirling here at Sun Devil Stadium.
Kind of
ball game sold out, more than 70,000.
Sets that ball on the tee a little crooked, doesn't
yes,
he?
He does. Well, he's a sidewinder. He's left-footed, so you have to expect that. Byers, 2-yard line. Keys to the 10, 15, 20, breaks it. He's to the 30. He's to the 40.
He's gone.
To the 30, the 20, the 10. They'll go out of bounds till you get in the end zone key. Officially 99 yards.
He just barely gets up inside the wedge as you see the Panthers coming around him. From here on, it's a foot race, and now he's worrying about what am I going to do when I get in the end zone? Am I going to dance? Am I going to jump? Who am I going to high five with? He almost steps out of bounds. He starts, oh boy, the excitement of college football.
Kick.
The extra point is good. It took the Buckeyes, in the person of Keith Byers, 14 seconds to break the tie. 99 yards, and again, it's Ohio State by 7. There's an old adage of the West, don't count your chips until you finish the game. And here it is.
Leading the stampede.
You're right.
There he goes.
That is the lead horse of the stampede, Keith Byers. Took him 14 seconds to cover 99 yards. Bailey, Scales, and Brown for the Panthers, and the wind blowing the ball off of the tee. Spangler to kick off for the Buckeyes as the crowd settles in. Now the Fiesta Bowl record book. Let's take a check of it. Has there been a change? 1972, Missouri, Arizona State. This is 12 years ago. Mike Fink for Missouri, well, he takes it on the goal line. Just a yard deeper than Keith Byers and returns it 100 yards to place his name in the Fiesta Bowl record book. For Keith Byers, 6 points, but second place in the record book.
He'll remember it for a long time.
Oh, yes, and so will we. Here's Tom Brown. Brown to the 20, 25, 28-yard line. The 1984 Fiesta Bowl being brought to you by the all-new front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla sedan, reborn for 1984, now at your local Toyota dealer. By a company called TRW, where tomorrow is taking shape. By the Texas Instruments Professional Computers, providing reliable solutions today and tomorrow. And by 7-Eleven, a major sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. Pass is dropped off to McCall. Coming out of the backfield across the 35 to the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. It'll be second down, about a yard and a half to go. For the first down, Clark Backus with the tackle. 13 minutes, 55 seconds, time remaining in the ball game. The magic number has been 7 for Ohio State. They were out in front 7-0, 7-7 a tie. Buckeyes led by 7 again, 14-7, then tied at 14-14, and 14 seconds later, it was 7 again for the Buckeyes. They lead it 21-14. Bill Wallace, did he pull it down? He has possession, yes. Good pass by Kajimi, putting it in a perfect position for Wallace to bring it in. 17 yards.
An excellent throw. Kajimi fakes. The defensive corner has rotated up. Wallace gets around him. An excellent throw and catch. Fantastic. Keeps his feet in bounds. Kajimi and Wallace have done this all year, and they're doing it here again today.
6 receptions for 70 yards. Jemison for the Buckeyes, 6 receptions for 89. They're kind of floating at the record set by John Jefferson that we showed you later in our Fiesta Bowl record book. Joe McCall, stopped by Byron Lee. No, we looked at, I'm sorry, not that we showed you later, that we looked at earlier. We saw John Jefferson in action with his 8th reception. He set that record 1975, 9 years ago. So let me correct that. Gain of 3 to the 47, second down and 7. Kajimi fires. This one is complete to Collins. Collins to the 35-yard line. Gain of 9. First down for the Panthers. Clark Backus again with the tackle, along with Lowry, and Kajimi has the offense moving again.
He's doing it with short passes. He's reading deep. Nothing's there deep, so he comes back off to short. Little slant pattern by Collins. He was the outlet receiver. Lowers his head, gets what he can. They're on the 35-yard line, Charlie. They're moving.
And Collins just became Pitt's all-time receiver in yardage, passing Gordon Jones. Here's McCall. From the 35 to the 32, gain of 3. Second down 7. Byron Lee making the tackle. So Jimmy, 25th in the nation in passing, is mixing it up. He's through the air. He's on the ground. Looking now for the plays in from the sideline, but as we have seen throughout the afternoon, he does have the ability to audibilize at the line of scrimmage.
He certainly does. The plays are coming down from the press box from the quarterback coach, Ron Turner. Turner is calling an excellent game. Passing on first down, running when the situation calls for it.
Far side, pass is complete. It is Collins again. So that is the hot hand. Jimmy to Collins. Lane with the tackle for Ohio State.
Number 12, Garcia Lane.
Earl Bruce turns around and says, what can we do to stop this? Where's my defensive coordinator? Let's stop this right now. Collins has had a up and down year. He's been injured, a shoulder separation, had an ankle problem. Didn't know how much he'd play today, but I think when you get that old adrenaline running, this is his last game, psychology major, really playing well today.
5 receptions, 52 yards. Third down, a little over a yard to go. Here's McCall, first down. Pepper Johnson with the tackle, number 98. You wonder where nicknames come? Well, I'll tell you where Pepper Johnson for Ohio State got his. As we look at this again, he saw his dad putting pepper on his food, so he tried it when he was a kid. Unfortunately, he was putting it on his cornflakes. And he's had the name ever since. Joe McCall, 82 yards in 19 carries. 23-yard line, gain of 4 on the last play, first down. 0-47. McCall, total offense, 155 yards, rushing receivers. End zone, he's there. Wallace, out of bounds. Bad pass. He was open.
Poor timing, Charlie. He was open, and he was open for a long time. Jimmy needed to get the ball to him a little bit quicker. I don't know if anybody knocked Jimmy down or he just fell over on his back. He certainly is disgusted. He read the coverage. He knew he had him one-on-one, and he didn't get the ball there quick enough.
And you want the receiver, as you look again with that stopwatch in his hand. He's open there.
He's open by a mile.
Good call by the official.
Official is right there, but you've got to have that clock in your head. You've got to know when to break, when the quarterback is looking for you.
You want to make the break the same time that he wants to throw. On the draw, here's McCall. 10-yard line, first down, gain of 13. That was the 9th play of the drive. Started back at the 28. 10 minutes, 43 seconds left to go in the ball game. Panthers on the move, down by 7 points.
Excellent call here because they were throwing the ball very well. Ohio State knows they're getting hurt, as we'll take it. There's a sneaker. Somebody threw a sneaker at him. Trip him up with a sneaker.
And a shoe goes flying by. Pass was still incomplete. Go ahead. Here's McCall. Good defensive play. They lose half a yard.
I was just going to say the draw was an excellent call because Ohio State was being hurt with the pass. Pittsburgh came back with the draw.
Sean Gale made the defensive play for Ohio State.
Second and goal from the 11.
Second down, goal to go. Loss of a yard to the 11-yard line. Kelvin Bell checks into the defense. McCall, 21 carries, 94 yards rushing. Then Jimmy throws, touchdown. Collins. Dwight Collins. Needing one touchdown catch, and he's got it to become Pitt's all-time leader in that category. Dwight Collins.
Pittsburgh is going to go for 2 here, I believe. They're going to take a timeout. And Jimmy was referring with Coach Fazio on the sideline. It looks as though they're going to go for 2 and go for the win here at this point. You can, if you miss it, you can always come back and kick a field goal at a later date. Good call, good play, scoring the touchdown.
Jimmy to Collins. We've got a timeout. We'll be back with a 2-point attempt in just a moment.
Colorado license 12, marked on 5th Street, must be moved or it will.
2-point attempt. Go for the win. Right now, go for the lead.
I think it's a good call at this point because if you go for it, you're ahead by 1 point if you make it. If you don't make it, then you can always come back and kick the field goal.
from 3 yards out.
Every offense now has a set number of plays to try for 2 points. Pittsburgh went to one of them. Let's see what it is.
Play action. Tipped and complete.
The point after conversion failed.
And if I read it right, Darrell Clark was open, but he did not go to Darrell Clark. Maybe we can look at that again. No, first let's go to the touchdown.
So the touchdown first. Kinjemi looks to his left the entire way. Excellent throw between the linebackers. Collins getting open for the score.
We'll be back with a look at the 2-point attempt that failed. Fazio with the gamble, and he did not pull it off. 72-yard drive in 11 plays, took more than 4.5 minutes. So Ohio State now leads by 1, 21-20. Biancourt will be kicking off to either Keith Byers or John Wooldridge. You can see the paper blowing around, the wind here today, and you can hear it. This is a kind of a squib-type kick to break up any return possibilities, because Keith Byers went 99 yards for a score not too long ago. Let's go now to the 2-point play.
Middle of your screen, number 84, Wilson, gets his release, a play action fake. They wanted to hold the linebackers and dump the ball over. It's a difficult pass in a short area. You saw Hill, 27, get up, knock it away. Back of 17, make sure. That's a very difficult play to complete in a small area to try and throw the football.
Doug Hill, number 27 for the Buckeyes.
Kind of surprised, Charlie, they didn't sprint out, roll out with Kinjemi and throw. Give him an option runner pass. Give him more time to look around, find a receiver.
Illegal procedure on the kickoff. But Foge Fazio, the gambling man, linebacker at center at Pittsburgh.
We got a lot of time, he says.
The ball will be
That's
kicked from the
And they do. 9 minutes, 47 seconds left to go in the game. The penalty takes the ball back to the 35-yard line, and with the wind swirling, Biancourt has Tom Flynn hold the ball for the kickoff. Maybe it wasn't a squib-type kick. Maybe it was, the ball may have been falling off of the tee when he met it. So here we go. Now it's still low, but this one is picked up at the 35-yard line by John Frank, the tight end.
88.
And so the Buckeyes of Ohio State, Keith Tinsley on the coverage team for Pittsburgh. The Buckeyes underway in their own territory, leading 21-20.
Check that the ball carrier.
They'll spot the ball
89,
at the 37-yard line, first down.
Ball will be placed down on the 37-yard line. First down, Buckeyes.
For Ohio State, the Buckeyes' 12th straight bowl appearance, their 18th overall here in the Fiesta Bowl. Their bowl record is 8-9. Pittsburgh's bowl record is 7-8. So the winner will have the tie. John Wooldridge from the 37 to the 40-yard line, a gain of 3. Second down and 7. Now we can expect to see Ohio State with a 1-point lead go again to the power stampede. They want to use up some time on the clock.
And of course, looking at it from the other side of the line of scrimmage, Pittsburgh has got to slant their defensive linemen, try and mess up the blocking assignments for the offense, and get in there and stop them.
And if it comes down to a kicking game, well, there's really not an advantage here, because neither team has an outstanding kicker. Here's Byers. But as long as Ohio State has this man, Keith Byers, who has scored 2 touchdowns, including a 99-yard kickoff return, right now they are in the saddle. Chris Dolman with a tackle. Ground level, let's take a look.
Watch Tom Zach fake it, get rid of the ball very quickly as Wojciechowski comes in there, pips the ball out there. It takes more than one man to stop Keith Byers.
A gain of 13 to the Pitt 47-yard line, 8:55 and counting. Time remaining in the game.
It was
Ohio State by 1.
Excuse me, Charlie. That was Winglikowski, not Wojciechowski.
All right. You got your wing and your woe mixed up is all. Here's Roman Bates. Bates to the 44-yard line, gain of 3, second down and 7, and the freshman Steve Apke makes a tackle along with Tom Flynn and Ray Weatherspoon.
Howard Schnellenberger, the head coach of the University of Miami, who we'll be watching tonight going against Tom Osborne's Nebraska Cornhuskers, has a long name club, and he's having new members all the time. And Winglikowski, I'm going to tell Howard when I get back to Miami that Winglikowski is certainly one that he may consider for membership.
I don't guess Jones would make it, would he?
not at all.
Play action fake pass is incomplete. Frank, the intended receiver. Apke had the coverage, third down and 7, 44-yard line, stopping the clock, 8 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in Fiesta Bowl 13. Then, of course, it's on to the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. Merlin Olsen, Dick Enberg are all set to go there. And then back across the country, Miami, Don Criqui and John Brody in the Orange Bowl.
Rose Bowl should be a good game.
Oh, yes.
It's good to see Illinois out there after Mike White came in and really did a good job. But, of course, the Big Ten has had problems going across country and trying to beat the Pac-10 in the Rose Bowl. It should be an interesting game.
But Illinois, they put the ball in the air. They're an exciting ball club to watch.
They do put the ball in the air, and I think the Big Ten Conference is changing in that direction. You have a lot of passing teams. As we look at Byers on his fake, sneaking through the line. Only need 5 yards for the completion. Take a look at 6, Winglikowski. 13 sacks on the year. Gets there a little bit late.
So it is 4th down, and Carl Edwards will be kicking to Tom Flynn. 8 minutes exactly left to go in the Fiesta Bowl. High snap, left-footed kicker. Kind of floats like a knuckleball, but fielded at the 11-yard line by Tom Flynn. So the Panthers now at their own 11, 89 yards away from the end zone, trailing by 1. Interesting with this ball game, a 2-point conversion attempt that failed, and that happened when you played in the Rose Bowl in '67.
Southern Cal missed a 2-point conversion, and Purdue won 14-13.
The Jimmy's pass is complete to McCall. They spotted the ball at the 12-yard line. First down. The play goes to the 19. Gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Doug Hill, the rover back for Ohio State, was there for the defense.
7 minutes to go. Pittsburgh starts on their own 13-yard line. The 12-yard line. The last 2 possessions, Pittsburgh has driven 52 yards and 72 yards to score. They certainly have the momentum.
And both quarterbacks having pretty good days. Jimmy with more yardage than Tom Zach, but Tom Zach has the lead. Here's McCall. We said early on in the telecast, is do-it-all McCall. He has 80 yards receiving. Orlando Lowry with the tackle.
No gain.
It is no gain. Still on the 19-yard line, 3rd down and 3. McCall on the season rushing for 846 yards, 4.9 yard average. 2 tight ends for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Can Jimmy rolling, he can keep. Heads for the sideline, dives right at the marker. Let's see where they spot it. The football hit on the sideline at the 22-yard line. Now that is 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. It was 3rd down and 3. That's the good news. The bad news is the chains are on the other side of the field, so he may have a measurement.
They set that marker down so anybody, a receiver or a runner, can see where the first down is, but it's a relative type of thing. They just place it down on a line of sight vision across the field. Let's take a look if we can see.
First down.
Jimmy, you can really see him diving for that red flag laying on the ground. We'll take another look at it. All his receivers were covered. The option is to go ahead and run it.
There's the marker, and he goes for it.
I don't know if he went out of bounds when he got to it. What a player.
First down, 22-yard line. Double fake, play action, roll right, pass is complete to McIntyre. Marlon McIntyre. And Pepper Johnson makes the tackle. They'll mark the ball just across the 30-yard line. Let's call it 31, gain of 9, second down and 1.
Pickup of 9 on that pass, second and 1.
Time remaining, just over 6.5 minutes and counting. Second down and 1. McCall, and he has the first down as his momentum carries him to the 35. A gain of 4, first down for Pitt. Now, should it come down to a field goal, well, let's check the record book. Last year, Oklahoma and Arizona State. The longest field goal, Luis Zendejas, 54 yards. That is the record. I don't think we'll see one today of that length, but we could see one for the victory. Fiesta Bowl record book that we have been showing you throughout the day. Here's pressure out of the backfield is McIntyre, and it's incomplete.
For number 3, Marlon McIntyre, incomplete.
It will be second down and 10, 35-yard line. 5:59 left to go in Fiesta Bowl 13. Ohio State 21 and Pitt 20. 3 touchdowns apiece. The Panthers went for 2 on their last score. They did not make it. Jimmy has completed 26 of 37. He's thrown for 295 yards. And by the way, that is a new Fiesta Bowl record.
A new record.
Way to go, John.
Hey. He's busy right now, John.
Yes. The draw to McCall from the 35 to the 41, a gain of 6. Third down and 4, Roland Tatum with the tackle.
Big play coming up here, 3rd and 4. You need to keep possession. You've got 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go. If they don't make it on this 3rd down, they may go for it on 4th as we see Roland Tatum.
And Joe McCall rushing for more than 100 yards in the game, 24 carries, 104 yards. The Jimmy has pressure, fires, it's complete. McCall out of bounds.
I don't think he made the first down, Charlie. I think he thought he had it, and then he just backed out of bounds. I think he may be a yard short.
I think you're right. I think he went out at the 44, needed to cross the 45.
The official's getting a lot of help from Jimmy and McCall. Foge over there on the other side.
He's going to help you too, that's right.
Little quick out.
You're right. And he had room to back a little further. I don't think he realized that he was that close.
Official timeout for measurement.
Official timeout. 5:15 is the time remaining in the Fiesta Bowl.
Just looking at
that was 3rd down 4.
Earl Bruce talking to him before the ball game. The Big Ten Conference, Charlie, is really changing with the influx. Now Lou Holtz is at Minnesota, Mike White at Illinois. Everybody's throwing the football. George Perlis is now at Michigan State. He'll rebuild that program. Hayden Fry at Iowa. Dennis Green at Northwestern. Everybody in the Big Ten now is throwing the football. I think that is why you're seeing more passing out of Ohio State. You have to do it to stay competitive.
McCall did not pick up the first down, but he does have 188 yards in total offense, 104 yards rushing, and 84 yards receiving. And there was room, Bob, just like you said. I don't think you realized where he was.
I really think he thought he was past the marker, and all he had to do was just get out of bounds with it. He needed to stop and head upfield. 4th and 1, big play in the ball game.
2 tight ends, they go for it. Of course you go for it here. Quarterback sneak to Jimmy. He's got it. Needed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches, somewhere in that. I'm giving myself a little leeway.
Nothing to it. You give it to your power runner and just let him go right across there. Those quarterbacks can get it anytime.
No, those quarterbacks stick together. That's what they do. Gain of a couple on the first down. So the Panthers retain possession. 5:13 on the clock. Time remaining. Pittsburgh down by 1, 21-20. That's something else you might want to win. Obviously, the Panthers want to score, but you don't want to score too soon.
Well, that's very true. You don't want to score too soon. You know, and I don't think they will. I think they're going to take some time getting down there. They'll take it any time they can get it.
Here's the draw, McCall.
Let's go, Joe.
50-yard line, gain of 4, second down and 6. Spencer Nouns, middle guard, led the defense. Play was blown dead at the 50. McCall went on, but of course when the whistles sound, as they did, defense always relaxes a bit.
Running behind a fine offensive line. Pitt known for their fine offensive line.
He goes right behind Fraley.
Let's see if he ever goes down. He's laying on the pile. Never goes down.
No, but it had been blown dead. So the defense does relax.
Forward momentum.
Yep. Second down and 6, 50-yard line. 4:15 and counting, time remaining in the game. And Jimmy being chased, rolls out of a sack, throws, it is complete to Wallace. 40-yard line, first down, gain of 10. Pepper Johnson with the tackle. A good scramble by John Kajemi.
Great movement by Kajemi, makes the play. He was sacked. Morrow, 57. Good move by the quarterback. Keeps his composure. Finds where he is. Finds where the defense is. Sees the entire field. Here we'll take a look at Wallace. Runs down. That's his pattern. It's a hook. Now he starts sliding to the inside. Makes himself available to the quarterback and makes a big first down.
They spotted at the 39-yard line, first down. Here's McCall. Joe McCall, right side. McCall to the 31-yard line. Gain of 8. Second down and 2. Pittsburgh underway. Roland Tatum with the tackle. They have their offense going. Started back at their own 12-yard line.
You talk about an offensive line. Joe Moore, the offensive line coach, has had a few good ones over the years. Russ Grimm, who's in the Pro Bowl this year. Mark May, Jimbo Colvert. Now Freilich and Sweeney, this year's team. Good offensive linemen.
Don't forget Durundo, Petty John, and Tony Brown. Second down and 2. This is Mark Bailey. Bailey to the 26-yard line. He has 5 in the first down. 3 minutes, 13 seconds. Time remaining in the Fiesta Bowl. The Panthers trail by 1, 21-20.
From this point, Charlie, would be a 42-yard field goal. And as we mentioned earlier, Schubert, their fine kicker, hurt his knee the first week out here and is back in Pittsburgh now, so they do not have their regular field goal kicker.
14th play of the drive. Kajemi to throw. End zone coverage, overthrow. Wallace pulled double coverage. He gets a crowd when he goes deep. It'll be second down and 10 at the 26.
He had at least double coverage, maybe triple coverage. John Kajemi forcing that ball a little bit. Lucky it wasn't picked off, but he threw it. He threw it in a position where it wouldn't be picked off, and that you have to give him credit for.
27, Snuffy Everett, the junior. Regular season, 204 field goals, his long 45. And he'll have the wind against him if it comes to that. You mentioned Eric Schubert, knee injury. He is home. And Snuffy Everett, 0 for 1 in the Fiesta Bowl, hitting the upright from 33 yards away. Now the Panthers want to talk it over. They take a timeout, stopping the clock. 2:53, time remaining in Fiesta Bowl 13 as we come down to the wire. We'll be back in a minutes, 53 seconds remaining. We'll be joining Dick and Merlin at the Rose Bowl, and then after that, we'll be moving on to the Orange Bowl. So stay with us today on NBC. But it's not over here. Second and 10, 26-yard line pressure. Pass is complete. Clint Wilson with 2 touchdown receptions. 16 receptions on the regular season. 1 touchdown regular season. He scored 2 here. 1 a reception, the other fumble recovery in the end zone. When McCall got to the 1, let's go back to the last play.
Looking downfield, he avoids the rush, just dumps the ball off to the outlet. Wilson is tight end coming across. Charlie, they need to get 2 more good plays in. They need to get at least down inside the 10-yard line for Foge Fazio to really feel confident with their new kicker.
Kajemi has thrown for 314 yards, 29 of 41. his man, and he misses him. He was open. Dwight Collins was open, and Jimmy missed him.
Well, he missed him because they had a blitz. Gale was coming. Number 2 was blitzing in there. Pressure defense by Ohio State.
We mentioned Jimmy throwing for 314 yards. That is his career high. Fiesta Bowl record 347. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Charlie. You saw Foge hugging Snuffy Everett as he was coming out to try the kick.
So it does come down to the attempt. 27-yard line, an attempt of 37 yards for Snuffy Everett, and the lead in the Fiesta Bowl, 2:43, 17th play of the drive. Oh, yes, he does it. All right. Snuffy celebrates.
Is he celebrating?
Oh, he says, wait a minute, we got time to play. Don't go running out of the field. The junior, Snuffy Everett. He looks like a kicker.
17 plays, 67 yards.
And Snuffy celebrates.
Snuffy looks like he's a little overweight to me.
But a good kick. You know,
that's as high as he's jumped in his life.
2 minutes, 39 seconds left to go. It is now Ohio State 21 and Pitt 23. 67-yard drive, 17 plays, leading the field goal. 5:14. 5 minutes, 14 seconds consumed on the drive. Now look who's there. Keith Byers, number 41, along with John Wooldridge. And Byers in this ball game, 99 yards, touchdown kickoff. We've had a little bit of everything happen.
Now, do you kick the ball deep to him, or do you squib it again?
I'd go for a field goal. No, you can't do that.
The way Tomczak's been playing, and Byers with 2 minutes and 39 seconds, this game is not over with. It's a cliche, but it's the truth.
Most cliches are the truth. Vaillancourt kicking off. Picked up at the 11-yard line. Woolridge, but his knee was down. They're going to blow the play dead. Back at the 10, just outside the 10-yard line. So Ohio State with just over 2.5 minutes. Let's go back to the play.
Can't do this. Puts his knee down to catch the ball. Notice that Pittsburgh kicked the ball away from Keith Byers.
First down, 10-yard line. Buckeyes have the ball with 2:36 remaining. Now Ohio State has Rich Spangler as a kicker, field goal kicker, and Paul Allen as a field goal kicker. Incomplete. Anderson, the intended receiver. Tomczak's throw was just short. Troy Hill had the coverage for Pitt.
This is a thing that's a little bit hard for me to understand, Charlie. Tomczak, play action fake. You know you're going to be throwing the football now. Just let the quarterback drop straight back so he can see the full range of the field, so he doesn't have to see where the linebackers are. You always have to know, linebackers, defensive backs, just drop back when you know you have to throw and throw the football.
Second down and 10. It is complete over the middle. The ball popped loose in the end zone, but the play had been blown dead about the 14-yard line. Jemison with the reception. That is his 7th of the ball game.
Apke makes a great play here. It's a little crossing pattern. Apke in his zone, sees it all the way. It's going to be a good linebacker. He's a good linebacker, filling in for Outazert. Ball comes out at the end. All right, Steve, good job.
7 receptions, 92 yards in the ball game for Jemison. Third down, 6. This one complete to Byers. Byers first down, out of bounds. 28-yard line, gain of 14. Now 1 minute, 51 seconds left to go in Fiesta Bowl 13. Ohio State with the football trailing by 2, 23-21. And of course, we'll be moving on to the Rose Bowl. UCLA against Number 5, Illinois. UCLA, as you have heard, they have a food poisoning problem. A couple of ball players have missed that ball game. Then, prime time, NBC, the Orange Bowl. Nebraska, number 1. Miami, the home favorite. Tomczak, lots of time, incomplete at the 44-yard line, going to John Frank.
And that's where it really gets dangerous. When he looks downfield, when Tomczak can look downfield, and his primary receiver is covered. We'll see here is a fake. Now nobody's covered. Now it gets dangerous when he can break outside the pocket. You see he had a receiver wide open. Jemison, I believe it was. He had him wide open. It disrupts the entire flow of the receivers and the entire coverage, and then you can get a big play.
This is one of the 2 field goal kickers for Ohio State. That Rich Spangler, number 87, Paul Allen, is the other one. Could be either kicker. We don't know yet. We don't know if it'll get that far. Here's Byer. Breaks a tackle. Fights his way across the 35 and out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:39. But the Buckeyes need to pick up a lot of real estate if either kicker is to come into contention. Tom Flynn for the defense.
Earl Bruce, looking at his short list, his game plan, will be sending the play in himself.
Gain of 7 to the 35. So it'll be 3rd down and 3. 1:39 left to go in the Fiesta Bowl. Third and 3. Roman Bates. Bates has the first down at the 42-yard line. He needed 3. He got 7. 1:33 left. Steve Apke, the freshman, makes the tackle. And quickly, an opportunity here to thank a lot of people. Executive Director of the Fiesta Bowl, Bruce Skinner. From Arizona State University Athletic Department, our good friend, gold medalist, Herman Frazier. From Ohio State, the president, Dr. Edward Jennings. Director of Athletics, Hugh Hindman. The SID, Sports Information Director, Marv Homan. The head coach, Earl Bruce, his entire staff. University of Pittsburgh, the Chancellor, Dr. Wesley Posver. The Director of Athletics, Dr. Edward Bozick. Sports Information Director, Jim O'Brien. Head coach, Woj Fazio, his entire staff. And also Steve Snap of OSU and Pat Hanlon of Pitt, our spotters working in the booth with us. So we did, with this opportunity, want to thank everybody, and particularly we want to thank the Fiesta Bowl. And I know that you and I, because we were talking about it this morning very early, because we had a local kickoff at 11:30, and that is our friends from the Fiesta Inn and our Special Olympics float in the parade on Saturday morning. And more than 400,000 people turned out for the Fiesta Bowl parade. And once again, we are riding with our friends from the Special Olympics.
It's been a great week.
It really has, hasn't it? Here's the pressure. The pass is incomplete. Byers, the intended receiver. Bill Moss was putting the pressure on the quarterback. So bring it back to the 42-yard line. It's 2nd down and 10.
71 Moss getting in, putting the pressure. Tomczak only sacked 5 times all year, throws it away. Apke was there, almost made the interception.
Bill Moss, Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. Honorable mention All-America, number 71 for the Panthers. 2nd down and 10. Ohio State at their own 42. Tomczak, pressure again, throws. Almost intercepted by Troy Benson, but he couldn't hold on. The wind, by the way, blowing from left to right now at 18 miles an hour.
The wind is at Tomczak's back. He has a receiver down the middle who is open, tries to get the ball to him and just didn't pull up and get his arm behind it. Almost intercepted.
Troy Benson with 4 interceptions during the regular season. Couldn't hang on to this one. 1:21 left to go.
Plenty of time, Charlie, to move the ball down and score. They've got some timeouts left. And of course, in college, the clock is stopped whenever you make a first down.
3rd down and 10.
Come on!
Fires incomplete. It will be 4th down and 10 for Ohio State. The Buckeyes ball on their own 42-yard line. They have 1 timeout remaining. Pittsburgh has 1 timeout remaining. So we're down to the first of the crucial plays with 1:16 left to go.
There's the leading receiver on the Ohio State team and the most valuable player, John Frank, getting the play from Earl Bruce, taking it in. I wouldn't be surprised if it would go to John Frank because he's been their bread and butter all year.
All Big Ten tight end. 4.6 speed. 3.9. That's his grade point average. 4th and 10. Fake of the draw. Here's the pass. It's there. It is John Frank. Academic. All-America. All Big Ten. Flag is down. Flag down back at the 37-yard line. And Bob, you called it. You said you go to your bread and butter man. As a quarterback, you know who you want to go to. You
like those tight ends that can get open, and you like those backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Offsetting penalty.
It's a double foul. Did it occur after the play or before? If it occurred after the play, they get the first down.
Right.
And it looks as though that is what's going to be the case.
The microphone not working. It is a dead ball foul after the play was over. You're right. It is a first down, and Ohio State has possession at the Pitt 45-yard line.
New life, 4th down and 10 or whatever.
John Frank, 4 receptions, 54 yards. No more statistics, I promise. All right. 109. Only one, and that's the score.
Wide side of the field is this way. You got Frank and the wide side. You almost look to have something come this way.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on.
As time to throw goes back across the field to Byers. Incomplete. 59 seconds left. 2nd and 10. You've seen the play selection. You've seen the choice. What do you like? What would you call?
Well, I would keep looking to the tight end. Tomczak is doing a good job of reading the coverage. That time he was throwing to the wide side. Nothing was open. He came back against the flow, tried to hit Byers, which is a good choice because if you can get the ball to Byers on a crossing pattern, he may break some tackles and go for 40 yards.
Inside the 40. Chris Dolman for the defense. Clock is stopped with a timeout. They're going to mark the ball at the 39-yard line.
Charge to Ohio State.
Rich Spangler, his longest this year, 36 yards.
6 yards on the play.
Missed from 46. While we have this timeout, let's go to New York City.
Thank you, Charlie. At the Cotton Bowl, John Lastinger, the Georgia quarterback, scores it himself. Georgia upsets #2 and previously undefeated Texas, 10-9. And that means Miami fans are excited. The winner of the Orange Bowl should be the national champion. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Right now, the hero is Snuffy Everett. We'll be picking our most valuable player. But the way this is, we want to wait.
Snuffy was kicking.
We really want to wait.
Snuffy needs to do a few, gets in a few of the sprints. It looks like he's got all the power in his entire body instead of just his leg. It's all right, though. Made a big kick, Snuffy.
He sure did. The kick of his life. Going deep in the end zone there. Touchdown. Thad Jemison. 39 yards. 37-23, 39 seconds left. I promise no more statistics, but I have to tell you, Jemison tying the Fiesta Bowl record. 8 receptions, 131 yards, and the go-ahead touchdown.
I can't say enough about Jemison and Tomczak. Tomczak rolling to his right, read it all the way. I was just, Foch Fazio, not too happy. Ohio State, obviously. It's been a great game, Charlie. Both back and forth. Pittsburgh went ahead, 2-point conversion miss, kicked the field goal. It's had everything.
Extra pointed tip. It's good. Was there a flag? Flag dropped on the right side of the field. Offsides, defense. It's good.
Here we'll take a look from the end zone. The fake rolls to his right, the wide side, and throws back to the short side of the field where Dean, 28, had to cover 2 people. You can see Dean throwing his head up in disgust. He throws this ball back into the short side of the field, something that you wouldn't expect. 3 wide receivers down the middle. Great play. Jemison.
And a souvenir in the stands. And if you're Foch Fazio, this is the way you react.
Foch is pointing where all the receivers was going. That's what he was doing.
Oh, that's a stoic response.
Well, he saw what was happening. He saw the receivers going down the short side of the field, pointing to him. He couldn't help out at all. So he just said, that's not what I like to see.
39 seconds remaining. The man who made the key reception, tying the Fiesta Bowl record, is the Toyota most valuable player in the game today. Number 88 for the Buckeyes, Thad Jemison. From the university, from Ohio State University. And Jemison will receive a special trophy in honor of his achievement. In addition, Toyota will donate $1,000 to be shared equally by the general scholarship funds of both universities in honor of their participation in today's game. This money will be used to assist students in their chosen fields of academic interest. So congratulations to Thad Jemison and to Ohio State. But it is not over yet. 39 seconds remain.
And what a great day that man there had, Tomczak, Mike Tomczak. Throwing the ball to a lot of different receivers. Byers played well, Frank played well, Tomczak played well, but Jemison had to be the MVP.
Another update, Georgia defeated Texas in the Cotton Bowl 10-9, and that means that the Orange Bowl truly is a battle for number 1, Nebraska and Miami. The penalty being assessed on the kickoff is against Thad Jemison for throwing the ball into the stands. That's an automatic, that's a rule book call. Officials, even if they want to join the celebration, they still have to call it.
And that Orange Bowl game, Charlie, should really be a great one.
Oh,
Tom
yes.
Osborne and his Cornhuskers, never having won the national championship. Tom was down in Miami, tried to win it a few years ago. And, of course, Howard Schnellenberger turning that program around, has been talking national championship for a long time.
But don't forget the Rose Bowl. We'll be going there right after this game as Tom Brown returns the kickoff. And the Rose Bowl is always exciting. We'll see the passing of Illinois. UCLA with a problem that Dick Enberg has been updating us on with some food poisoning. But sometimes when your backs are to the wall, here you go, right?
I would not sell UCLA short
No.
because there's been too many times where Big Ten teams have gone out to the West Coast in the Rose Bowl as favorites and been
That's
upset.
Right. Except in 1967 when you went out and took Purdue to a win over USC.
We rolled over them.
You rolled over 14-13.
Right.
Had it going away. 38-yard line. Kajimi to throw. Pass is complete at the 45 to Clint Wilson. 26 seconds and counting. The clock moving down on Fiesta Bowl 13. They stop it now with 25 seconds. That is the last timeout in the ball game for Pitt. So we have 25 seconds. And Ohio State has the lead, 28-23. The ball on the 46-yard line. It will be second down and 3. 25 seconds. If you hurry up, you can get, depending on how successful you are, you can get 4 or 5 plays in. But the margin is 5 points. You have to go for the touchdown. Also, Stuffy Everett, he'll remember for a long time the 37-yard field goal around the 2:30 mark that gave them the lead. Lead didn't last.
Lead didn't last, but still, he'll always cherish that kick and that thought. The pressure was on him at that time, and he came through under pressure.
And I think one thing to remember in a Fiesta Bowl, a celebration like this, the week that we have enjoyed here, the play that we had, an excellent ball game, very exciting, close ball game, that is better to do your best than to be the best, because when you do your best, you have control over that. That is up to you and you alone. Being the best, that's usually selected by somebody else.
Very true.
And both ball clubs and all the players involved certainly have done their best here. Pass is complete, 40-yard line, the lateral, and then out of bounds to stop the clock.
This game's not over yet,
Wallace.
and they ought to do it again. The same play the other way.
Chuck Scales and Bill Wallace teaming up, but they ran out of real estate on the sideline.
Well, they need to do it to the wide side of the field, maybe have a little bit more room. Of course, this play, Miami Dolphins a couple of years ago made this famous. Good execution. The ball could have been out a little bit more out in front of him, but they're on the 40-yard line, 35-yard line.
Jimmy to Wallace to Scales. That last play to the 35-yard line. First down, 18 seconds left to go. Oh, we're squeezing every possible bit of excitement out of this ball game.
I don't think anybody has told Pittsburgh that the game is over with yet. Kangemi has had a great day throwing the football. He has really brought his team back time after time.
To the 30. Trying to get to the sideline, 24-yard line. 7 seconds. Did he get the first down? If he did, that will stop the clock. They'll have to move the chain. 7 seconds. Kangemi is down. Chance to thank Ross Schneiderman, our statistician. Ken Edmondson, our producer. Andy Rosenberg, our director. Everybody in the truck. It has really been an exciting ball game, an exciting telecast, setting up the day on NBC. We'll be leaving here. We'll be going to the Rose and then on to the Orange Bowl. Chris Jellick is the backup quarterback. He'll be coming in for Kangemi.
You really hate to see this happen.
Oh, yes.
What a great day he's had, and really trying to get out of bounds, get the first down.
The left ankle.
Looks like he rolled up the back of his left ankle.
When he planted it, let's see if we can back up, look at it again. That left ankle is planted. It goes down, gets caught underneath.
He's not worried about his injury. He was worried about getting the football and trying to get up to get the next play off.
John Kangemi. What an outstanding day that he has had. He's completed 31 of 42. He has thrown for 342 yards. Just 5 yards shy of the Fiesta Bowl record, but now it looks like that ankle injury, that left ankle pinned underneath him, twisted him, caught in the grass when he went down. And we have officially 7 seconds left to go in the game. Chris Jellick, who will replace him on the year, completed 9 of 15, threw for 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
Charlie, Kangemi epitomizes what you were just talking about. Just do your best. If you do your best, if you go out and give it everything you got, you walk off the field and say, well, I tried everything I had, I played the best I could, and I still got beat. That's exactly what John Kangemi was doing there. He was fighting, he was scratching for more yardage. He got hurt on the last play, but he'll be back to play another day.
And your former head coach, Don Shula, says, failure isn't fatal and success isn't final.
It's very true.
The ovation for John Kangemi. And here is Jellick. They are set to go as soon as, of course, Kangemi is off the field of play, because the clock will start. Here it is. Clock is wound and counting. Now that stops it, just going out of bounds. 3 seconds now. Now we get together and go to the end zone. Oh, I like that. That's a good call. I'm not sure that Foge was that thrilled with that call from his reaction. But one and we go to the end zone. If you've got it, you win, and if you don't, it's all over. We're wringing every bit of excitement out of this one.
You certainly are. They're on the 24-yard line. Ohio State was lined up that time with its 3 deep defensive backs in the end zone. So possibly you could do the alley-oop, put 3 wide receivers, let them all run into the end zone, and then if you get the right tip, if you're lucky, you're going to get the touchdown. Or you could do the flea flicker again.
That's right.
Everybody's too deep. Send them down, hook them up, lateral it back.
Here it is, 3 seconds to go. Now, time has run out. It is knocked down. The ball is knocked down. Dave Crecelius, number 97, with the final play. The score, 28-23. Ohio State wins it. We'll go to the Rose Bowl after these messages from your local station.